Hassan, have you ever and can you ever solve a non-practical problem by thinking about it?
The more you think about it, the more I think you dig yourself dig yourself deeper.
Amazing. Why are you laughing, Gerald?
I don't know. I'm kind of low on wisdom this morning. I don't have anything that profound. I got bit by a dog over the weekend. It's been stressful. It's been a stressful past couple of days. Anyway, let's see what Joe's got.
You got bit by a dog?
Yeah, it's a long story.
You got rabies?
Well, the more I thought about it, the more I thought about the problem, it just caused more problems. I went to urgent care.
Are you concerned about...
Sitting next to Hassan and he might have rabies? Yes.
Yeah. Are you concerned you may
Yes.
catch rabies? From
Thought
yourself?
about it.
You better call your mama. You ain't got much longer.
Who gets Sandman when you're gone?
Jesse.
His mama take it.
No, I'm gifting him to Jesse.
He won't last long.
Okay.
Mr. Sandman will be following you real soon. Give him to your mama.
I mean, that's probably not much better.
Nick says, seek immediate care if you were bitten by any animal. You may be in danger. Well met. But he did, Nick. He went to urgent care. They put a Band-Aid on him and gave him a glass of water and told him to go home. Did you drink?
Oh, what is happening?
Did you drink water today? You want some water?
Oh, my God.
Oh, anyway.
You want me to answer?
This is funny. This is even funny. I don't even know why I'm laughing.
They have morbid sense of humor.
Oh, my God.
I gotta leave the
I'm
studio
crying.
right now.
I don't even know why.
Sean hate what he's doing.
Explain yourself.
All right.
Are we on drugs? What's going on?
Oh, God. And don't forget to subscribe and follow JLP Radio Network on YouTube and Instagram. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Joel Friday TV, be black at 11 a.m.
It's like, it reminds me of the story in the Bible where it talks about David and Goliath, right? The army was afraid of Goliath because Goliath was known to be like this tall, big giant. He's too big. David, who wasn't even a part of the army, knew God. He knew God within. What are you guys afraid of? Shut up, little boy. Go sit down. And he's like, are you serious? Then let's suit you up then. If you're so strong and confident, let's suit you up. They try to put him in all this gear, like this big old heavy gear that all the warriors wear. And David's like, I'm uncomfortable. This is not me. And he took it all off. Goliath pulls up and said, what's up? Let's do it. The army of God, the people of God were like, what are we gonna do? And David looked at them like, are you serious? Hold my backpack. Walked up to Goliath like, say something. And Goliath was like, something. And David was like, and pulled the slingshot, bow, right in the forehead, boom. took Goliath out. If Goliath fell like this, hit the floor. More of the story is it was God. That's what people fear. The truth. The real deal.
The Hake Report.com from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time.
What do you see as the difference between facts or truth?
Facts are oftentimes irrelevant. Facts may distract you from the truth. People can deceive by cherry picking some fact or some few facts. You can know some factual things and spout off at people and bash them over the head with it, and it doesn't even apply, and it's coming off evil. You have no love. Whereas if you're a person of truth, a man of truth, you're led by the spirit of truth, patient. You don't believe the bigger lie, the big lie of anger and self-righteousness. The earth is flat, or the earth is an obvious globe, or whatever. That's not truth. That is a disagreement over facts, and it's dumb.
Would you agree the whole topic is interesting, or the reason we're even talking about it? Let's say evil people weaponize facts to win arguments or to further their own agenda.
It's all ego. Yeah, it totally is.
Yeah.
That's what the climate hysterics people do. They bash you over the head with their selective facts in order to push a communist, globalist, socialist agenda of redistributing America's wealth. Or interpersonally, people arguing on a radio show or arguing in person. They are just trying to get an ego feeling of winning the argument or being right, looking down on the other person.
The American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at 12 noon Pacific time.
Would you rather be left in the woods with a man you don't know or a bear? Is the question being asked, and it's got ladies online. You think I'd rather be with a man in the woods? Well, you thought wrong, men of the world. We ladies are afraid of you, misogynists. People engaging with this has nothing to do with the question itself. This is actually female terrorism. They're faced with a hard choice here. It's a bear or a man, both bad, because we live in a society. But when you break this down, they don't care about those questions. It's to tell men, look at how serious we are. Look at how seriously we see you as a threat. What are you going to do about it? The women say, while holding a gun. You understand? This is female terrorism. You could go out amongst the bears like a piece of meat. And the world has to say, you can't look at her like that. No, you cannot expect her. She cannot be expected to defend herself and cover herself up because there may be evil out there. You are the one expected to watch yourself. So she gets to walk around the bears, taunt them, yell at them, terrorize them, and they're protected. Yes, women are being attacked. Yes, most of the violent crime is committed by men, sure. By the way, it's done on other men. But yeah, fine. Women, if they're going to get violent crime committed on them, it's most likely a man that's going to do it. It doesn't explain your conclusions of society, ladies. Because if you're so tough, then go out and be with the bears. You feel me? But anyways.
So is your husband ahead of you?
Oh, that's so good. Yes, my husband is my king. He is the king of the castle.
Right on. Being a Oscar-winning actress, you're a worker, you know how to be independent. What is it like to have a man that's the head of you? You can look up to and admire.
It's an honor.
Yeah.
And it took me a minute to get there because I was that independent, empowered Black woman that couldn't nobody tell me nothing. So it took me a minute to understand that I did have a king and that I had to understand the order of the relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that he was patient enough and loved me through.
I was going to ask you about that. How did he deal with that when you were on the ego trip before you were able to let the ego go and follow the order of God?
Well, we've been best friends since 10th grade, since we were 14 years old. So we were best friends before we were anything. And he's the one person that can have a conversation with me that most cannot because he's been knowing me since I was a little girl.
Yes.
So he was able to talk to his friend. And that's how I was able to let go of that ego, because he was dealing with his friend.
Right on.
And he was saying things to me that it was taking me to my knees, Jesse. Okay? It was taking me down to my knees, Jesse. I was like, don't tell me the truth about myself like that. Now my ego can't stand that. But I'm so grateful for it because it helped me to grow. It helped me to love, so I'm grateful for those moments.
You are famous for hosting the Amorose Slut Walk. You came up with this term, slut. What was the purpose of using that word?
Basically, it's really what people think about you. It's not really actually what they know, right? So I could, I went through a divorce and then I started dating after that. And it's like, well, if going out on a date with a guy makes me a slut, then that's just what I'm gonna be.
I don't think going out on a date makes you a slut, but having sex with different men makes you a slut.
Well, what does it make you if you have sex with different women?
A slut maker.
A slut maker.
It's amazing. The merch is amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
The merch is amazing.
Subscribe now. Come back. Do you want to be interviewed? No. Amazing. Well, they gone. That's amazing. They gone. They walked away. You allegedly experienced sexual abuse while in the military. Did that happen?
Yeah, there's a listen, at this point, the United States government, they're giving me the sun, the moon, and the stars at this point because it's well documented. It's not a point of it's alleged, it's confirmed. Like everything that I've been through has been confirmed.
And so when you were having sex with those guys in the military, you didn't want to have it? You didn't want to do it?
No, and I was a minor and I was coerced, I was abused, and I went through torture.
Amazing.
That's sexual violence. That's not consensual.
When I read your story about allegedly being sexually abused in the military, it made me...
It's not alleged, it happened.
It further verified that women should not be involved in men's sport, the military, or get involved with men clubs or anything, because I noticed that every time women get involved with the men stuff, they always accuse men of some type of abuse, sexual abuse or violent abuse or something. Do you agree with me that women should stay with women and men should stay with men? Because you hear more from the women than you do the men.
to stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the race. Hey, hold on. Uniting the race. No. Tested. Uniting. Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. I had to turn my volume back up because we used it earlier this morning for an interview there on Newsmax, so we had to turn it down. Now we had to turn it up. That's what's going on. Good morning. Hi, y'all. Welcome to the show. Welcome. It's amazing. And it is Wednesday again. Can you believe that? The third hour today is Manhood Hour, rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. Excuse me, Jesse, Jesse. Brand new biblical question. What does evil look like inside of you? It's time for you to take your eye if you want to be free. If you love your hell, stay in your hell, that's fine. But for those men and women who want to be free, what does evil look like inside of you? What does it look like? Because the one thing I can promise you without a doubt, you are your world and you are your own misery. No one outside of you is to be blamed or can be blamed for your misery. And you're in your misery because you want to be in your misery. That's what's so interesting about it. You can drop your misery. Just like that. It's going to be done. But you don't want to drop it. And so you are your own world. You create your own world. You live in your own world. You suffer in your own world because that's the way you want it. And you literally cannot blame anyone else. We blame our parents are at fault for not being that example, of course, turning us away from our own world. But you, as an adult, I would say 18 and over, maybe 17. It all depends on when you think you're an adult. Well, not all depend on that. 18, 19, 20. You are your own world, and you are your own problem in your own world. And it's so easy. As an adult, it's the easiest thing in the world to do is say, oh, you made me feel that way. You made me think that way. You made me feel that way. You're lying. No one made you feel anyway. You, me, or anyone feel anyway. You felt that way inside of you, and you blame somebody else. If it wasn't in you, you wouldn't feel that way. And that is the truth, so help me. If you didn't feel that way, if it wasn't in you, just think about that. If it wasn't, no one can make you feel something that's not in you. You're feeling that. And you say, oh, instead of looking at you, your own evil inside of you, you say, oh, Sally Ann made me feel that way. The husband and the wife, when they're arguing, they say to each other, you made me feel that way. No, it didn't. Your husband didn't make you mad at all. Zero. You were already mad. You decided in your world to be mad. and to blame. Just a little FYI. I don't know why I'm getting off on that. Anyway, we have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And one little last tip on that. Anyone that blames someone else for the way they feel, good or bad, or scared, or fearful, or whatever, lonely, depressed, suicidal, that person is saying out loud to you and to the world that they're lost. They can't see. It's just a little FYI. And if you're out and about and doing whatever it is that you're doing, anywhere in the world, and you're not able to watch the show live, I know a lot of you podcasts, but you can watch it. You can listen to the show while you're doing whatever you're doing. Fighting on the airplane, fight getting on the airplane, fighting getting off the airplane, or whatever. Ride on the Anchor Baby plane on Fridays at 4 p.m., a smooth ride. You can be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 605-615-4131. Isn't that amazing? I remember. Almost. 605-615-4131. Amazing! And you can podcast the show as well. All right? And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. And Bond Cash App. Cash App. All right? Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. Life is so amazing to me, I can hardly stand it. It just, to live a life of unconsciousness is not the way you're supposed to be. It's not the way it is supposed to be. Amazing, huh? I want to, Grandpa tell me about the good old days. I remember there was a time when people pretty much got along. When people got along, it didn't matter about the color. And you always have had people not agreeing and disagreeing and agreeing because of the spiritual battle, right? You've always will and always have had that. But for the most part, people got along. And then the civil rights, so-called civil rights movement, no such thing as civil rights, came up with this idea that black people need leaders. And we want to be their leaders, and we want the government to be their daddy. And so we're going to sell them over to the Democratic Party because most blacks were Republicans at the time. Because the Democrats did not want the blacks in their party at the time. So they started their own party, the Republican Party, along with some other white people. And so they came up with the word, let's come up with the word racism. And even though it's not real, let's come up with the word racism. Because that's going to get us a long way in life. We're going to become senators and governors and police chiefs and congressmen and all kinds of things with that word, racism. That word is going to get us a far way in America. And white people are going to become afraid of that word, real afraid of that word, racism. to the point that a lot of them are going to join with us to say, yes, racism exists out of fear. And as civil rights leaders, we're going to make a lot of money as leaders for ourselves with that word, racism. And we know that it's just a made-up word. It's not real. It's not going to solve one problem. If anything, it's going to make things even worse. But don't worry, we'll change the name and we'll add to that word along the way. We'll add to that word. We'll call it DIA. Sean, what's those acronyms for diversity, whatever they call it? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Don't worry, along the way, as time come and go, we're going to add to it to make it sound more desperate and needy. And we're going to have riots along the way. And we're going to say these riots are happening not because of black people destroying their own communities. We're going to say it's because of racism. And we need DEI. And it's happening. And nothing's gotten better. Have you noticed all the riots and things that we have had in our country over the years? That burning down one house, destroying one business, putting people in fear has not changed anything. But the people who are behind it make a lot of money. And the people who are doing the destruction make nothing. They look around and wonder, what happened to my house? I burned up my own house. And then the people that encourage them to burn the house down, they don't even offer them any help. They said, well, we're going to get some government money, but that money is not coming to you. It's coming to us, the leaders. And the people fell for it. And the people fell for it, and they keep falling for it. They keep burning down America under DEI and all that mess, destroying the statues and burning people's business down, and nothing gets better. Have you noticed that? But those who are doing it, causing it, they are getting richer. They are getting richer. They're living in $3 and $4 and however many $1 million homes, and they're building projects for you, and nothing gets better. And you yet won't think and do for yourself. Nothing clicks that says, nothing clicks that says, you know what? Let me get off this merry-go-round. Have you ever gotten off a merry-go-round and it continued, but you walked away from it? You walked away from it a free person, free man, free woman, and the merry-go-round kept going around and around and around, and the people who stayed on the merry-go-round, they were still participating in riots. They were still afraid. They were still blaming. They were still angry. Have you noticed that? But you got off the merry-go-round and walked away. And then when you got off, those people who stayed on the merry-go-round, the cowards who stayed on, because they were afraid to jump off and be an individual, they point their finger, look, where you going? Get them. They try to get away. One is trying to escape. And they build an army against you. Because the devil cannot afford to let one escape. So he uses the demons to try to catch that one that got away. Never mind the souls he already has. He have those. And he used those to go after that one that got away. One that decides to step off that merry-go-round and never look back. Some of you might remember I know you young people remember these riots with the Black Lives Matter radical people and all those people, but there was another riot, and nothing got better. And they were crying racism and police brutality, and nothing got better. And this was back in 1992, and nothing got better. Those black people who over in South Central LA, who participated and burned down other people's businesses because the home that they live in, well, some of those black people used to own those homes, but they were renting them out. And they didn't mind burning them down. I want to remind you, just remember the LA riots in 1992, and let me know, do you hear the same theme today that they played back in 1992? Watch this compilation.
Parents teaching children to steal. If I had done that, my mom would beat the stuffings out of me if she had caught me stealing. But these parents teaching their kids to steal, I can't understand it. If they ever take their kids to church, do they ever teach them to believe in Jesus? I don't believe this stuff. I just can't.
Who could believe this? Looters of every race and color, just like their victims.
22 years down the drain. I mean, can people realize what they're doing is wrong? This is not the way to overcome racism.
And merchants in neighborhoods of every color picked through the scraps the looters had left behind. And what could they say?
There was a little 9 or 10-year-old and her mother. They were walking out with baskets full of brushes and combs and stuff like that.
And what did looters call this? They said, we're going shopping. A store overstocked for Mother's Day. Nothing left.
Why? You know? I don't know. Why?
Amazing, huh? The blacks are doing the same thing today in 2024. They're going shopping at your business. They're walking into the stores now and just taking it while the workers are there looking at them taking it. They're still doing it today. That was 1992. What has changed? How has anything gotten better for the blacks? They're doing the same thing. They're being used, they're being played, they're being had. And everybody's still wondering, why? Why are they doing this? Why is this happening? Why? They were asking those questions back to 1992. And they're still doing it. Smashing and grabbing, stealing. When Black Lives Matter carried out that insurrection upon America, the blacks went shopping. Their family, mama, grandma, granddaddy, everybody was out there together shopping and laughing and kicking up heels and felt nothing about it. Black Americans, I want you to know this is not the way it's supposed to be. You were not created by God to live this way. This is evil. And you're being used by whomever's over you. They have you doing this, and you won't jump off the merry-go-round and say no to this. You won't say, you know what, I can earn my own living. I could get a job. I could start my own business. I don't need to be taking people's stuff. I don't need to take my family shopping during riots and glad about it. And if you notice, it has gotten worse. They literally go into stores now with backpacks and just walk in a supermarket. Black people, no, stop it. It's not the way you're supposed to live. This is not, they lied to you about racism. The civil rights, so-called civil rights movement set you up for personal gain. And now every type of evil you can think of is walking the earth. I want to play that one soundbite again so that you'll remember, and this is for all people, especially blacks, that you've been even this generation of blacks are being used for the same reason they were being used way back then, for personal gain. They never meant, there was never any intention to end the so-called racist problem, which doesn't exist, by the way. They never meant to fix that problem. It was meant to do what you did then and what you're doing today, to use you, to get into office, to make you vote for them, to make you feel sad for yourself. They are not doing this. If you notice, the people, the so-called black leadership, and now the liberal white Democrat, and some of the Republicans, quiet as a kept, they are not out in the street rioting and carrying on. They have you doing it. They go on TV and talk about it. Oh, this is racism, this is police brutality. But they're not out there in the streets doing that. And their children are not out in the streets doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it. They're not doing it. They have you doing it. I just want to remind you and pay attention to this, and you'll see that in 2024, the same thing is happening with the so-called Black Lives Matter mess, and now with the Palestine and Jewish mess going on. It's the same thing. Somebody using those people on both sides. Whoever are using them, they're not out there. They're pulling the strings, and you're the puppet. Pull the string and I'll walk for you. I'm your puppet. You remember that song? Do a little dance and I'll sing for you. I'm your puppet. Hassan doesn't remember that song either. What now? I'll do anything that you want me to. I'm your puppet. They pulling your string. And if you try to get off the string, you got hell to pay. Unless you just don't care and move on with your life anyway, and let evil people be evil. Let them be themselves. Because there are evil people in the world today. I just want to play this really fast, and I want you to reflect on 1992 riot and look at today's riots and see if it has anything changed. It's all an illusion. It's not real. That's why nothing changes. It's made up. Watch this compilation.
Parents teaching children to steal. If I had done that, my mom would beat the stuffings out of me if she had caught me stealing. But these parents teaching their kids to steal, I can't understand it. Don't they ever take their kids to church? Do they ever teach them to believe in Jesus? I don't believe this stuff. I just can't.
Yeah.
Who could believe this? Looters of every race and color, just like their victims.
22 years down the drain. I mean, can people realize what they're doing is wrong? This is not the way to overcome racism.
And merchants in neighborhoods of every color picked through the scraps the looters had left behind. And what could they say?
There was a little 9 or 10-year-old and her mother. They were walking out with baskets full of brushes and combs and stuff like that.
And what did looters call this? They said, we're going shopping. A store overstocked for Mother's Day. Nothing left.
Why? You know? I don't know. Why?
They're still asking why. Because the word is made up. It's not real. And the people being played. And I remember the Asians had businesses down there in South Central LA. And some of them had to go on rooftops with guns to protect their businesses. And the blacks were rioting. even it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It doesn't. But let's pretend that a word called racism existed. Let's pretend. What does that have to do with stealing and robbing and breaking down and burning down other people's businesses? How does that relate? The Asian didn't have anything to do with it. And then the Asians left, and the Mexicans came, and the same mess started with the Mexicans. They don't like the Mexicans either. Anybody that go in there and try to have a business, have a life, you're going to pay a price. It's time to wake up. If not now, when? What will it take you as an individual to take your eyes off of other people, because you're evil too? That's why you're looking at other people, because you're evil. If you weren't evil, I promise you, you would not be looking and judging other people. You're doing it because you're evil, and you need some kind of way to make yourself feel better, you think. Or you're not feeling better, you're burning. You're not feeling better. You're burning. That's why you're looking at other people and judging them. You want to burn their house down because you're miserable within yourself. An angry person is an evil person. I don't care what color, how much money, where you live, where you're stealing or not. An angry person cannot be trusted. You can bank on that. You better bank on it. You cannot trust an angry person. An angry person has fear. And you cannot trust someone with fear. They'll do whatever it takes to protect their ego. Don't hurt their feeling. Oh boy, it's over. Look at husband and wife relationships. If the husband hurt the wife feeling or the wife hurt the husband feeling, it's a war. Because that's an angry person. Look at the Christians, how they judge the non-Christians. And the non-Christians judge the Christians. They're evil. But every ego thinks that it's better than the ego in front of it. You don't have to live that way, no matter who you are, where you are, and what you've been through or what you're going through. It's not you. You are free, but you don't know that you're free because you identify with evil. I look at all these men in dresses now, drag queens or whatever it's called, and women in dresses and men's suits, and those women and men are just like anyone who has anger. They're evil. They have the mother's nature, and they must be born of the Father. Ain't no way around it. You can't get around it. You must go and forgive your mother and your father. Alcoholics, drug addicts. Your problem is not the alcohol or drug or the drag queen or this or that. It's an unforgiving heart. You're lost in the dark. And you believe all lies. You can't believe the truth because you don't see the truth. You believe lies. Any male that has anger is their mother. They think like a woman. They act like a woman. They believe in women. They talk like women because they have their mother's identity. They're no different than the drag queen. But they'll judge a drag queen, but they won't see that they're just like a woman too. It's the mother's spirit. And it's not her spirit, but the spirit of Eve in her. You must return to the Father. 888-7753-773. Back in a moment. Quick break. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do Be doers of the word. All right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them. And blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. Okay, folks, welcome back. Manhood Hour is coming up in the third hour today. Women's Forum tomorrow night, Thursday night. The third Thursday of this month. Tomorrow, ladies, come on down. It's going to be amazing. The ladies of Bond are working on themselves. They really are. At 9 a.m. this morning, the Hake, Hake report.com. The Hake report.com. From 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. The Hake report. And James Hake is on fire. And at 11 a.m., Joel Friday TV. You black. Joel Friday TV. Did you hear his show yesterday? If you did, not podcast. He talked about faith. It was interesting. Joel Friday TV, check it out. And then the American Anchor Baby after Joel Friday TV. And the American Anchor Baby, a genius. And everybody knows it. Energy given to him by God. Joel, come here for a minute. I have a quick question. Joel Friday TV. Joel Friday TV sent me a video yesterday and I want to ask him about it. I just learned more about the video from Hassan. So I'm like, what the? And it's just so amazing to me. Joel Friday TV is here. He's walking in. He's waiting for Hassan to move the thing so he can walk past the camera, and he's not going to move it.
There's something wrong with it.
What?
There's something wrong with it.
Oh, he said something wrong with it. So this is Joel Friday TV, and every day it's up Friday. Isn't that Friday? His name? It is Friday, but every day but Friday he's on.
No, what the?
It just occurred to me. And he's an expert here. So yesterday you sent me a video of a dog eating ice cream.
Yeah, pathetic.
No, but I didn't know anything what it was all about until right now.
Yeah.
So Hassan sent me a video of his dog eating ice cream.
Yeah.
And did you see Hassan dog eating ice cream?
Yeah.
What do you? Let me first tell you what Hassan told me about it.
Okay.
You're not gonna believe it.
Okay.
Hassan, tell me about your dog eating ice cream and why. This is Hassan, my audio engineer, the expert here as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a nice treat.
And where you get the nice treat from?
From Starbucks, they do these. They kind of impose it on you. I'm getting a coffee, and then they say, "Oh, does the pup want something?" And
are you able to put you on screen?
Oh yeah, and
he want to have.
You don't want to be seen.
This is one.
And
wait. Is there a 3?
Hold on.
Yeah, I see him. Oh. He don't want to be on camera.
Wait a minute.
He don't want the world to know this one.
But it has to be the 3. You can't have the empty slide up there.
Okay, the point is that.
And so Starbucks, you went to Starbucks, got some coffee, and they gave you the ice cream for the dog?
Yeah, they go, oh, does he want to, does the dog want to, they call it a pup cup.
Wait. A pup cup.
And, and then you start
It's free.
to
Is it free for the
It
dog?
is free. Yeah, it is. And then I start to get kind of nervous, and I go, oh, okay. And then.
And I asked you, does ice cream give dogs diarrhea? And you said.
Yes.
Sandy
for sure.
Dogs get diarrhea from ice cream.
Wait.
And so I said, well, why do you give it to the dog? And you said.
Well, again, I kind of
when
just
I asked why did you give it to the dog, you say.
Because they kind of impose it onto me. The Starbucks, they and then people are listening, and then I don't know. I'm just like, oh, okay.
So his dog and dogs get diarrhea from ice cream. Starbucks imposed it on him, and he gave it to the dog.
He had no choice. Yeah.
Right. He had no. He couldn't say no. He couldn't take the ice cream and throw it in the trash. He gave it to the dog, which caused diarrhea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not natural.
It doesn't,
the dog's system is not set up for that.
Yeah.
What do you say about that? I'm glad you told. He didn't want to tell you. You know you.
That's what I was going to say. The dogs do suffer from that kind of stuff. They can't have certain things, and it affects them.
But what do you think about the people? I'm sure he's not the only one, but the people.
Show us the video.
Nice.
The people doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Let me see the video.
Oh, Lord. They impose it on you.
Listen at him.
This is not Sandy, folks.
It's just so pathetic, though.
Look at that. Starbucks gave them free ice cream to get a dog. The dog gonna get diarrhea. And now the dog got to go to the dog doctor.
Hey, the dog can't even breathe. You hear the nose?
Look, here's Sandy. This is Sandy, her son dog. Look at that. Starbucks said, get this to your dog.
Walking the light. What the?
Incredible. It's funny because I think Hassan said he realized it.
Realized
I
what?
hope so.
You realize what?
That when you give the dogs not dog food but human stuff, it weakens the dog even more. And that's why
they get diarrhea from this. The system is not.
Yeah.
And he knows it, but he couldn't say no. They imposed it on me.
Influenced by the Starbucks.
Right.
No, but there's other video. The dog there, you could his nose. He can't even breathe out the nose. He's so little. But the people just don't care.
Don't even care. Starbucks don't care because Starbucks is trying to make the money. And then the owner of the dog don't care because the dog make them feel good licking out a cup.
Right.
Oh, I love this dog. Look at it.
I only sent that video because Joel sent the Chihuahua one, so I was just following
but
up.
that still doesn't stop you gave the dog ice cream. Because Starbucks made you do it.
And I gave him In-N-Out burgers last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Which was a huge
and his stomach
mistake.
was on fire. Was his stomach hurting or something?
A huge mistake. You want to talk about diarrhea? Anyway, it's
poor animal.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Look how human beings are treating animals like they do their children.
Yeah.
They make their children suffer the same way.
Yeah. And the dogs, like, even when they take care of them at home, I don't know if Hassan's doing this, but when at home they like carry them and they pat them on the thing.
Don't give me the idea.
It's pretty bad out there. It's pretty bad.
Human beings have lost their way.
Yeah. You know, you talk about that thing within that tells you when and when not to do. Yeah, that's nobody's hearing or listening to that.
I'm telling God, her of it helped the people find that. Amazing. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
What a mess.
Here's your man. One more look of your man.
What man? Oh. See, look, poor dog. Let the dog be a natural dog, and you can enjoy the dog better then.
What a mess.
888-7753-773. One last thing not one last thing. I want to show you really fast. Blacks for Trump. There is this idea that the blacks are for Trump for every kind of reason, right? But the blacks who are for Trump, they are for Trump because they, as individuals, they see that their life is not working. Everything is cost through the roof, gas prices, jobs are difficult to find, and they see what Trump is going through and how he's dealing with that. They'll learn it, and they love Trump for that example. They're loving him for it. And they see, some of them definitely see that the Democratic Party does not care about them. Never have, never will, ain't gonna. It was just for the vote. Nothing else. It was for the vote. And some blacks, especially younger black entrepreneurs, are waking up to that now. And Donald Trump is setting the example. Yahoo has reported that New York giant legend Lawrence Taylor made a surprise appearance in Wildwood, New Jersey, taking the stage at Donald Trump's campaign rally and received a rousing ovation from the nearly 100,000 in attendance. Watch this from RSBN.
I just want to say, I grew up a Democrat, and I've always been a Democrat until I met this man right here. I'll tell you what. He will not have to worry about nobody in my family ever vote for a Democrat again, okay?
Nice. Isn't that beautiful? So there are black, especially black men are waking up. And some women too, some of the black women too. But the women tend to stay with the Democrats because they've been catered to. Like now they're going north. They're using the black women to help destroy America. But there are some black women who are walking away from it. The black men are walking away from it in numbers. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. Amazing. Let me go to a first-time caller out of Ohio, Jeremiah. Let's see here. Jeremiah, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Jeremiah?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Hello? I'm going to put him on hold there just in case it's on our end. So we're going to check to see. Let me go to, is it PAPA? What's that? Papa out of Colorado. Is it Papa?
Papa.
Papa, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thanks, Jesse.
You're welcome.
I have a question about forgiveness.
Uh-huh.
Before, I've heard you say that to forgive is to forget.
Yes.
And I wanted to know if that flipped around is true. If I forget the the negativity towards someone or something, is that also forgiveness?
If you forget the negativity towards someone?
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to forget the negativity until you forgive. And when you forgive, you will forget, your mind will be cleared of it, and you'll be free from it. But the only way you're going to forget is that you must forgive first. Because even if you say, well, you stole my wallet. I remember when you stole my wallet. It's still in the back of your mind. And if that person should look like going to steal your wallet again, you will instantly remember it. But when you truly forgive, you will not remember that again.
So then you won't remember the event at all?
No.
Not only the emotion?
Well, you may, let's say that you may want to use it in a practical way. As an example, you may use it, you pull it out of the bag and use it, but you will not be emotionally affected by it at all. You wouldn't be. It would be like a story that you were telling, but it never really happened to you.
Right. Okay.
I can lift you up, and I can show you what you. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Have you forgiven?
I think so, actually. Now that I'm talking to you, I'm pretty sure I have forgiven.
And why do you think you have?
Because I no longer, like, I recall the events, but I don't feel anything about them anymore, about the events or the person who did them.
Did you tell them you forgive them?
Not yet.
And why not?
I'm working on that.
When you
This
say
is
you're
a very
working,
recent.
when you say you're working on it, what are you doing to work on it?
On how to do it, because the person and I no longer have any contact, and I was figuring out a way to get that information of the forgiveness to them.
You are able to reach the person, right? If you wanted to.
Yes and no. They are not willing to discuss, to see me at all if it's going to involve any kind of critique about them.
And you should not be, you don't have a right to critique them. I don't blame them.
Right. But this involves even me saying, I'm sorry for feeling negativity towards you. That to them would be seen as, why do you feel bad towards me? You should love me. And they don't want to get involved with that at all. They only want to hear about the good stuff that they've done.
But all you have to say to them, I'm sorry for resenting you. I was angry at what happened. I realize now you can help yourself. I'm wrong for judging you. And you'll be free, and you'll be done with it. And if you want to talk to them after that, you can. If you don't, but at least you'll walk away free and just leave them in their hell.
Right. What are your thoughts about sending letters to explain the forgiveness?
No.
No?
That's a cowardly way out. That's not forgiveness.
Okay.
Can you FaceTime with them?
I'm not sure. Like I said, we haven't talked for over a decade, I think, at this point.
Oh, really? So then, let's say that if they don't want to talk to you, just know that they can help themselves. They have issues, right? They just like you can help yourself, they can help themselves, and you just move on. Don't go out of your way like that to try to make someone want to talk. I'll just be done with it.
All right, so that I don't have to meet with them, or
No.
Okay.
Especially
I
if
can
they
just
don't
let
wa-
it go and
Yeah. Especially if they don't want to meet, you can do it. Just don't be angry at them about whatever happened, so that you can be free.
Okay. Well, I still want to try to reach out to them in some way. If not through a call, then something else. But if they still don't want to talk to me, that's okay.
Have you forgiven your mother?
That's who we're talking about right now.
Oh, your mother.
Yeah.
And so, you tried to forgive your mother before?
we tried talking about it over 10 years ago, and she was having none of it. She didn't want to hear anything about what she did wrong,
Yeah.
or even how I felt about it, why I felt slighted or why I felt wronged. And she just cut it off. And we haven't talked since.
Well, I would try to FaceTime her one more time if you want to, and forgive her. But if she doesn't want to talk, give her the finger, wish her well, and live your life.
Okay.
Just know that you don't have a right to be angry at her. There's never, ever, 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 but never, 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 ever a reason to be angry, right? And so just whatever she did or did not do, she could not help herself. She's angry, she's lost, and she couldn't help herself. So don't hold anything against her, but just move on with your life. Don't try to hunt her down to force her or try to make her hear you out. She doesn't want to, leave her in hell and you'll be fine.
All right, that sounds good.
Did you forgive your father?
I believe so, yes.
Did you tell him?
Not yet, no. I was going to do my mother first and my father.
But why haven't you dealt with your father after all this time, knowing that your mother don't want to even have a conversation?
Well, this whole thing is very recent for me. This whole forgiveness and getting it figured out. That's why I've been doing it for maybe a month or so.
Oh, I see.
Time to really meet everybody and get it all hashed out.
Yeah, well, once you forget about your mother, just don't be angry. You can't make her listen to you. She doesn't want to hear the truth, and she have a right not to want to hear the truth. She has a right to live in her hell. She has a right to blame everybody but herself. So leave her in her hell, and when you can, go, if you can meet with your father, Dad, I'm sorry, or father, whatever you call him, I'm sorry for resenting you. You didn't protect me from my mother, whatever, right? And forgive him. And I'm telling you, Papa, your life will become amazing. You're going to finally have a life.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that part.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
I am not.
Do you know about it?
Yes, I'm aware of it.
Okay, give that a try. Start doing that so you can start being present. You want to be conscious at all time. Because in consciousness, awareness, in present is where God is, where the truth is, where you are, where life is. It's going to be amazing.
I will give it a shot.
I wish you well, man.
Thank you, Jesse. Have a good one.
All right. Anything else?
Can I get one more question?
Yes.
About free will, how do we not have free will but also are able to choose to return to the Father?
Amazing. That's a good question. Hold for me. Let me take a quick break.
Okay.
Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, but the Hake, H-A-K-E news. 2 more hours to go. Back in a moment. I recommend you get a copy of my book, From Rage to Responsibility. I write about how the spirit of anger was taken away from me 29 years ago. I forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father, and I returned to my father, and through him, my father on earth, and through him I was able to return to God. No man or woman can return to God unless you go through the Son. And men are sons of God. There may be weak, pathetic examples of it, but it's the spiritual order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So get From Rage to Responsibility. I write about that. Go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com for an autographed copy, or call 800-411-BOND. And donate to my nonprofit, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. We are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man.
You can become an air traffic controller. They are much needed right now. I hear that truckers are needed too. I don't know if that's still the truth. Persecution of the president. I have a little update. The people, the wannabe VPs are showing up to so-called support our greatest president, Trump. Free Israel. Well, anyway, whatever. And there was a bus crash. Several Mexican farm workers were killed, and several dozen others, a few dozen others were injured in a bus crash. Well, this guy driving a pickup, he got a DUI and manslaughter. It's terrible. And Caitlin Clark lost her first WNBA game. She's that white gal. Too bad, so sad. This is the end of hour 1 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Wednesday, May 15th, 2024 AD. JLP will be right back to your calls, guys. But first, Hake news, not fake news. CNN reports a shortage of air traffic controllers in the United States has long plagued the aviation industry. Did you know that? Often resulting in flight delays and cancellations. Despite a surge in hiring last year, new data from the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, shows air traffic control stations nationwide are still about 3,000 controllers short. So get in there. Our greatest president's ex-attorney and fixer, the rat, Michael Cohen, according to Commie Nonsense Network, continued his fiery, in CNN's language, straight from hell, testimony Tuesday in Trump's criminal hush money trial. Criminal! Cohen, the rat, not a Christian, by the way, I don't think, detailed the so-called hush money scheme, which may be better described as extortion payout, involving that dirty video woman Stephanie Clifford, not to be confused with the reporter gal. And the payout supposedly happened before the 2016 election. He walked the jury through $130,000 that he claims he paid at Trump's direction, all of which Trump denies. Meanwhile, Tuesday saw the biggest group of Republican politicians appearing outside the Manhattan, New York courthouse, corrupt New York, to show their support for our greatest president. The list included House Speaker Mike Johnson, the Christian, Trump's one-time presidential turned VP hopeful North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, and Florida Representatives Byron Donalds, the black guy, and Corey Mills, whoever that is, and former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, the Indian. The Biden administration on Tuesday began their process to move ahead with the $1 billion weapons deal for Israel. The potential arms sale, according to CNN, comes as the administration has paused shipment of the 2,000-pound, the 1-ton bombs, and 500-pound bombs to Israel, citing opposition to the weapons being used to the densely populated areas of Rafah, where more than 1 million people are supposedly sheltering. The move signals the evil Biden administration will continue to make sure Israel has the military capacity to defend itself, indicating that longer-term weapons deals are not going to be halted at this time. And that bus crash, 8 farm workers are dead. 45 others injured in a bus crash in north central Florida yesterday, Tuesday. The bus carrying approximately 53 farm workers and a pickup truck sideswiped each other. They sideswiped each other about 15 miles west of Ocala. The Florida Highway Patrol said that in a statement. The driver of the pickup been charged with 8 counts of driving under the influence, manslaughter. What a mess. What a mess. So said local officials. In the news conference Tuesday evening, Juan Sabines, the Mexican consul in Orlando, said the victims were all from Mexico and were in the United States on temporary agriculture worker visas. And a recap of Caitlin Clark's first WNBA game. She lost. She scored 20 points, but she committed 10 turnovers in her first WNBA game as the Indiana Fever women's team, right, lost to the Connecticut Sun. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP.
to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show already. Manhood Hour is coming up in the third hour every Wednesday, third hour Manhood Hour. You can get involved by calling 888-7753. 773 888-77-JESSE. My biblical question for this week: what does evil look like inside of you? It's time for you to look at you and nobody else. If you want to be free, but if you love your hell, keep your eyes on others and not yourself. You'll do just fine in hell. What does evil look like inside of you? Amazing question. We have, you can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad if you're busy at work, anywhere in the world. We are heard around the world by everybody and their mama. So you can be listening on your iPhone or iPad, and you can podcast the show, all shows later, of course. Call 605-615-4131. That's 605-615-4131. And to donate, and we're going to get to your super chats here in a minute. To donate and have your super chats read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or rebuildingtheman.com. I want to go back to Papa. I believe that's right. A first-time call out of Colorado. And he was asking about free will. Papa, restate your question for me about free will.
Okay. If we do not have free will, then how do we choose to return to the Father?
Because you realize living on a pen is not a life. You know that you have left your father's house, and you're suffering out there in the world, and in that suffering is what is causing you to try to find your way back to the house.
And that's not done by a choice. That's like a natural thing that happens automatically?
Yes. All who want to return to the Father, it happens naturally. The Father will draw you back unto Him. You can't draw yourself to the Father.
I see. So we can't choose to return. We just do.
Right. For all the because the return was made possible by the Son, by God, Christ. He made it possible for us to return. And as soon as you're tired of living in your misery, you realize, you know what? I'm miserable. I'm angry. I'm jealous and strife and insecurity and getting in bad relationships and bad job. Let me go back home. I had it better at home. And that's when you start to return.
Okay. Cool.
All right, man, I wish you well. Do the silent prayer and just work on your life and forget about mama. Just wish her well. Don't try to chase her, because if you try to chase mama to get her to listen, she's going to run even faster because she loved the fact that you're trying to chase her down.
Right. Yeah, I will not chase her ever again.
Yeah, just wish her well, and you move on with your life.
All right, Jesse, thank you.
Take care, buddy.
You do.
888-7753-773. Let me just try Jeremiah, a first-time call out of Ohio again. Jeremiah, let's try it again. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Perfect. Yes, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'm new to your show. I'm a big fan. But I did have one question about your view on racism.
Okay.
So if I understand correctly, you said that you don't believe that racism exists?
I know for a fact, it's not a belief. I know for a fact that racism does not exist.
Okay. So then I agree with about 95% of what you say, but with that little snippet, I can't agree with, because my grandfather grew up in the Jim Crow South.
And so did I.
And he was threatened by actual KKK members to not vote, or else that he would get hung. Like, how do you explain that? How is that not racism? If it's not racism, then what is?
Evil.
But wouldn't you say it's like a specific kind of evil, an evil?
Yes. I would say that is real evil.
I mean, but wouldn't you say there's like different types? Like, I mean, I get it. You're saying it's real evil, but like in a practical sense, wouldn't you consider that racism, because they're literally telling him not to vote because of his race?
No, it was an evil threat.
Evil threat.
So they would threaten him not to vote for the Republican?
Actually, I don't know who he was trying to vote for at the time, but he did tell me a story about how like he was like on his way to vote, and there was a gang of KKK members that drove up next to him, and they saw, I guess, like the direction he was walking in, and they threatened him not to vote, or else they'd find where he lives and try to hang him.
Because during those days, most blacks, if not all, most black were Republicans, and they were not allowed to vote in the Democratic Party. They couldn't be a part of that party. I have an even better story for you than your father being threatened, as you said.
Grandfather.
Grandfather. My great-grandfather was killed in his bed by some white guys who ran a plantation away from him, because he hired a black guy who was fired from their plantation. My great-grandfather hired the guy. He had a gun on his bed, so when they came for him the first time, my great-grandfather pulled his gun from the bed and shot. They ran him off. And then they came back again, and my great-grandmother had moved the gun from the bed, and they were allowed to kill my great-grandfather. So the story being told. But not one time did they call it racism. They call it hatred. Our battle is a spiritual battle. It's not a physical battle at all. It's a spiritual battle, a warfare between good and evil. But the traitors of God, people who hate God and work for evil, they have covered up evil by calling it racism or giving it a name so they can rule over you with evil.
Yeah, I mean, from a spiritual sense, I definitely see where you're coming from with that. But, like, I mean, I'm sorry to hear what happened to your family, but, like, I mean, with that happening, I mean, you don't hold any kind of resentment, no kind of hate. Like, you were able to totally get over it and forgive and move on?
100%. And I only remember it to use it as an example of the battle being a spiritual battle. And evil people are controlled by evil. And people who overcome evil are controlled by good. It's just that simple. It has nothing to do with anything else but that. And when you forgive, you forget, you live your life because those people couldn't help themselves.
Okay. Well, yeah, I see where you're coming from. That makes sense.
It makes sense. Why does it make sense to you?
I mean, because I am a Christian, so like I do understand that the reason that anybody hates anybody for whatever reason is it's spiritual based. Like it's like you always say, like they're living in a hell, and they have to pray and put in the work to make it to the other side, so like they could be void of hate. I mean, I definitely get where you're coming from with that.
And so why do you, being a Christian, why do you still want to believe that it's racism when you know it's spiritual? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spirits and evil and wickedness in high places. It's clear in the Bible that that's what it is. Why do you call it what the children of Satan call it?
Well, it kind of goes back to how you always categorize things between something being spiritual and something being practical. Like yes, like there are a lot of problems that are spiritual, but like I don't understand the harm in giving a particular problem like a practical name for it, so to speak.
Because that's not a practical name to call it racism, because look at the suffering and look at how they have managed to divide us as human beings, and look at how they have gotten position in government and police department and everything. They got fire homes. It's not a practical word to use because it's meant for evil. It's never meant to be practical. A practical thing is to go to work, eat your dinner, build your house. Those are practical things. That is not a practical word. That is a deceiving word. It is meant to deceive you, to take advantage of you so that they can profit from it. They haven't even,
I see what you mean.
They haven't even had added on to it. They call it DEI now. They won't stop because it's working for them. It's not working for the people who are suffering from. Well, those people are suffering too. They're using that word, but it's working for them, not for the massive.
And that's true. I do agree with that. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll definitely pray about it, and try to remove myself from that programming, because I've been taught all my life that, whenever a person of another race, is prejudiced towards you, it's racism, But it's going to take me some time to reframe my thinking on that.
And if you notice, Jeremiah, they say whenever white people are like that, they're racist toward you, right? But black people treat each other worse than white people can ever treat you. They don't call that racist.
That's true. That's true. I totally agree.
They call that evil. They call that wrong. But when white people, they call it racist because white people got the money and the blacks ain't got no money. And the white people got the money. So they need to do that so you can fight the white people so they can take the white people money and their businesses and things like that.
Okay, you know what? It actually leads me to another question. I apologize. I'm not trying to take up too much of your time, but I do want to know. So, like, when you refer to black people as a whole, like, you are aware that you're black too, right? Like, do you mean like what? Like, not all, but most? Like, why do you use an umbrella term like that?
I always say, I don't always say it anymore, but I used to always say it. Not all, not all, not all, not all, but most. Because there are some blacks who are waking up. But most blacks are asleep.
Yeah, you're not lying there. That's true.
Are you married?
No, but I do have a girlfriend, and we're planning to get married after college.
After college?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I ask, because have you noticed how much she hates you too?
I mean, she practically almost worships the ground I walk on. Like she loves me. She's never mistreated me once.
You know why?
Why is that?
Because you've never corrected her.
I mean, she's never given me anything to correct.
Yes, she has, but you haven't
been
done
a perfect helpmeet.
No such thing. I want you to, well, if you really want to marry this woman, I don't want to suggest that you correct her. Because if you correct her, all hell got to break loose. Have you God and forgiven your mother?
You know, it's crazy you ask me that because I have had some issues with my mom lately. I had a very bad upbringing. I won't go too much into it. I know your time is limited, but I'm struggling with forgiving her right now. I'm not gonna lie.
And why?
Well, because she's done so much. Like she's made a lot of bad decisions. She dated men who had put me and my two younger siblings in actual physical danger. She has, and so like her dating choices are bad, and she always put herself over us. Like I kind of had to grow up early and treat my younger siblings as if they were my own kids.
Yeah.
You know, like I had to start working at like 13 years old to help bring some money in and, you know, and take care of my siblings. So, you know, like my upbringing was pretty tough, you know, so just like with all that had happened, it's hard to forgive that.
And how will you become free? Because you said you're a Christian, but how will you become free if you don't forgive her? How will God forgive you if you don't forgive?
That's a good point.
No, that was
true.
a question.
No, I know. I see what you're saying. Like I wouldn't be able to gain God's love and forgiveness if I can't forgive her. And I know that. I'm aware of that. I just like how would you, what steps would you give me to forgive her?
Mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. I'm wrong for resenting you. I realize now the hell you put us through, you couldn't help it because you were in hell. And I realize that now, but I don't. I kind of understand. So I'm sorry for resenting you. That's all you need to do. And God will forgive you. Don't ask for forgiveness. You don't have to, whatever she says, fine. If she apologizes, fine. If she doesn't, fine. That's on her. Leave her to hell. God said that before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must go and forgive, because the issue you're having is that you have anger toward her, and a person with an angry heart cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven within. You're not going to get in. And you can call yourself a Christian, but you're really living in hell.
I see.
But you're going to have to, if you want to be free, you can FaceTime her, or I don't know if you can go talk to her, but just say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm wrong, because you're guilty of judging her, and anyone that judges is living in hell, and they think they're playing God, right? But once you forgive her, God will forgive you and change your heart, and your life will become amazing. But that doesn't mean you got to hang out with your mama, be calling her and don't give her your money. But forgive her so you can be free, because the woman that you're about to marry or plan to marry is your mama, and all you're going to do is catch hell from her. She is not this holy, nice woman that you think she is. It's just that you have not forgiven your mother, and you can't see what you're getting into.
Okay. And I hear you mention the silent prayer a lot. is there like a specific prayer that I have to look up, or can I find it on your website? Or?
You can go to rebuildingtheman.com/prayer.
I will.
And do your little hooping and hollering if you still believe that hooping and hollering prayer is the right way to go. And when you're done hooping and hollering, be still and know God.
I will.
Rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. One last thing. Have you forgiven your father?
I have.
And
I have. I've been able to rebuild my relationship with my father. I actually didn't see him until I didn't see him for the first time until I turned like 13, and we've been rebuilding our relationship ever since.
Right on.
And I was able to tell him, he apologized to me. He told me that he felt like he failed me, and we had like a heart-to-heart moment, and we're really close.
Right on. Well, just forgive your mother. She couldn't help herself. Her mother screwed her up. Her father didn't protect her from her mother. Your mother is looking for love from these men, and instead of getting love, she gets screwed. And so she's looking for love. She has not forgiven her mother and father, so she's suffering.
I gotcha.
And what she did was wrong, but she couldn't help herself because her nature is wrong. She has hatred in her heart, and not love. So she couldn't love you because she was looking for love.
I see what you mean. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak.
You're welcome,
again,
man.
I really love the show. Keep doing what you're doing, and you take care.
You too, and do the silent prayer. Let me know how it goes.
I will. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Amazing. Racism does not exist. Well, you've been lied to. Your battle in life is spiritual. It's not physical at all. I don't care what color you are, how much money you have or don't have, where you live or don't live, what kind of job you have or don't have, how many degrees you have up the yang. It's spiritual. That's why nothing else brings you peace. You have no peace because it is spiritual. It's a battle between good and evil, and right now you're in hell, calling it heaven. And when you wake up by forgiving, you're going to wake up, and then the rest you're going to overcome. It'll all fall away, but the children of the lie who are evil, your family members, your so-called friends, or co-workers, whomever, they're going to go after you like night and going north, but you'll be fine. Don't preach to them. Don't do anything. Let them suffer. You quietly live your life. You won't regret it. 888-7753-773. Let me just quickly take Kevin's call. And he's been waiting for a long time. Kevin, welcome to the show. Thanks for holding on the air.
Jesse, how you doing?
All is well. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, it's been a while since I called you. You probably don't remember me, but I'm calling again. I got a question, right?
You say you calling again or falling again?
No, I said, hold on. Give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, hold on 1 second.
I can build you up, and I can take you where you want to be and show you what you want to see. I'm your puppet. I'm your puppet. Pull the string, and I'll sing for you. I'm your puppet.
Hello.
I think Sion think that she can pull my string, and I'll just sing for her. I'm her puppet. Okay, Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So here's a question that I have for you. I'm 30. I'm 30 years old. I know you're about 75, 70, what approximately, right? 73, 74.
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
No,
All
I'm
right, well,
saying I'm 74. I'm
All
74.
74. Okay. So here's something that I've noticed. I've noticed this for quite some time now. Maybe my observation is wrong. You would know better that because you're older, so that's why I wanted to ask you this. Like, my father is 64. I have a couple other uncles that are like late 40s, early 50s, that age range. And what I know that like this new generation, like mine's like 30 and under and whatnot. I know that we're all like maybe a lot weaker than men of your time and whatnot. I'm not saying that's not true. I see that. But what I've noticed is the generation that came right after yours, like, let's say like 65 and under, it seems to me like they weren't very strong either. And I always hear the guys from that era, like 45 years old to 65, always telling me about how, oh, you know, back in my days, yada, yada, yada. And I had corrected one of them recently, you know, one of my male family members, and I said, but you guys look like you guys were weaklings too. And he said, excuse me? And I said, well, what I said, well, yeah, you guys look like you're weaklings because at that particular time in which you were growing up was when the female matriarchy grew stronger all around the world, even, not even just in America. Like I see it in other countries too, where that age group was when it looked like the mother just took the reins in the home and she just like destroyed everything. And she's like, and the guy says to me, what are you trying to say? I said, well, what I'm trying to say is that you are not in charge of your wife. You lose your temper really quickly with your kids or even with your wife. You see what I mean? You don't think clearly, like you don't think with good, sound logic. I asked him, I said, how do you think that your era of men was much better than mine or the one coming after mine? I said, I don't really see it too much. Do you think I was wrong in my assessment of that? What do you think of that?
Well, based on what you just said, you were absolutely correct. You were not wrong.
Do you think... Hold on 1 second. So, right. So, here's my question now. Do you think that, like, you as someone who's, like, in your mid-70s, when you see a guy that's, like, let's say in his 50s or his 60s, do you see it as, okay, well, he's an old man, he's an older gentleman now, so he's, you know, clearly he's mature, he's strong, he's this and that, or do you see it as just because his age is, you know, above 30 or above 40 doesn't necessarily dictate to me that he's a strong man?
Not at all, because it has nothing to do with age. A lot of older people are getting older, but they're still blind. They're still fools. They're blind. They can't see because seeing is not for everybody. Most human beings of all races, male and female, most human beings do not want to see. They love their darkness. They love their hell. Seeing is only for those who want to see it. That's a few. It's like for you, seeing is what you want, but it could have your daddy, your mother, your uncles, your nephews, and cousins, they may not want to see, and that's the difference. It has nothing to do with age.
Well, you're right about that, but then let me ask you this. In your era, what I see, like when I see, for instance, my grandmother, right, she's 85, and what I see with, like, men, even women of that
Hold on,
time,
Kevin. Hold on. 888-775-3773. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, and individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Okay, welcome back. 888-7753. 773-888-77-JESSE. A brand new episode of The Fallen State this Friday. If the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. I had a guest back on The Fallen State. It was fun back then, and it was fun this time. Susanna Weiss. And Susanna was as I said, she was a previous guest on the Fallen State about 4 years ago. And now she's a writer, sex and relationship coach, and the author of the brand new book, Subjectified, Becoming a Sexual Subject. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
A lot of women dress like sluts now.
Oh, because it's nice to feel sexy and feel wanted.
And would you ever dress like a slut?
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
Oh, well, at least you're honest about it. What's good about feelings?
I think they put you in touch with who you are and what you need.
What the? Have you forgiven your mother for screwing you up?
She did.
Yeah, she made you in her image.
That's, I think, the most profound thing you've said.
I told you, look to the man for the answer. It was fun. I enjoyed her again. You will enjoy her as well. This coming Friday at 12 noon Pacific time, thefallenstate.tv. And don't forget to support the Fallen State, folks. It takes money to make things happen, these things. Go to thefallenstate.tv/donate, or you can do it on locals there, all right? And then, excuse me, for personal shout-outs, birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, congratulations, whatever, divorces, I'll do the shout-outs for you. Go to Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. All right, let me go quickly back to Kevin having some good questions about the older generation, my generation, older generation, and the lack of wisdom. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, so what I was getting at a second ago was, my grandmother is 85, and what I noticed was she's crazy in her own ways, that's for sure. She raised me, so I would know. But when I look at her and I look at my parents, who are late 50s, early 60s, I would say that I see somewhat of a difference. I don't know if it's in the values or what have you, or in just the strength of mind to just do what's right. And I kind of see that with you versus people of that age group, like in the 50s and 60s, even in the people who are like in their late 40s. Do you think there was quite a bit of difference between your era, like 70 and up, and like the generation that came right after, like 70 and under? Do you see a big difference?
Yes, each generation get worse. They're not getting better. So you're right about that. But again, I want to remind you that in all generations, you're going to find 1 or 2 or 3 men and women who really want to return to the truth. And and just that's what the issue is. They don't want, because I'm jumping ahead, but they don't want the truth. I want to say that. But because there are family members in my generation, there are people I know of my generation, people I met over the years, and they don't really want the truth either. They don't want the truth, so they're still living in their hell. And they just don't want it. The truth will only come for those who want it. You got to welcome the truth. And if they don't want it, they don't have to, they don't take it. Each generation get worse, especially in their own family members and things like that. Each generation get worse.
You are right, because I'm not big on reading the Bible, but from some passages, I see even in Jesus' time, there were some weird, stupid, weak people.
Yes.
Then too. Yes, so that's been the same since we've been living on planet Earth.
Even Judas walked with Jesus, and yet he didn't know it was Jesus. He didn't want the truth. He didn't even know it was Jesus, so he turned on Jesus for $1.
Right. So that's what I mean. Like, there's always been this weakness in people. I definitely accept that, although I will say that you're right when you said each era it gets worse. But
yes.
I hear the people who talk about, like I said, the people who are like 50 to like 65 who keep talking about the newer Gen Z and all that. And look, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of craziness that goes on in their era. But I'm like, just because there's more, I guess, homosexuals or weird stuff like that in that new era that's coming out now, which there is, I'm not going to say it's not true, like, that doesn't mean you guys were that much stronger from the standpoint that you guys still worship your moms and your wives like they're the second coming. Meanwhile, you're scared to stand up against, like, what's going on. Like, you're scared to just openly just say the truth. Like, if I say college is not important, which it's not, right? We both know it's not important.
Right.
And I outright say that in front of them, in front of older people. I'm 30, right? So they still look at me like I'm a young person. But when I say college is, that was an over-exaggeration in the 60s by the socialists and the communists all around the world. It wasn't just in America, where they exaggerated that just to control you so you don't own anything, you don't privatize, you don't build, right? They look at me like I have two heads, and they're like, oh, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, you guys got brainwashed, and that's all, and that's it. So it's like, if your ego is just not wanting to accept that because that's what your mother taught you and you have a degree, so you don't want to feel like you were wrong in making that choice for going to college or whatever the case may be. You want that validation of like, well, yeah, I have a college degree, and so it was right. It's like, why don't you just say, I went to college, I got a good job out of it, it did work out for me, but it's really not as important overall for society the way that it's been portrayed. They
can't see, Kevin. They absolutely can't see. And all men, when they're boys, they are subject to the woman. They're subject to their mothers and their grandmothers because they've been traumatized, rebuilt in the mother's image. All. But and so it's a few that overcome the spirit of mother, which is not her spirit, but the spirit of evil. Only a few will overcome that. And so you're one of the few that want to overcome. And as a result, you have welcomed the truth to come and save you. And that's why you are able to see what's going on. They cannot see. So don't, and you're right, speaking up and all that, that's fine. But just don't be angry. Don't judge them. They cannot see.
Oh, no, I know that they can, because since, how can I put this to you? Since, speaking of these male family members, I don't want to get into specific, but as far as who they are, what I can see is because they were not strong enough to know themselves outside of that degree, or whatever you want to call it, right? They find their identity within that. They don't know who they are outside of that. They therefore latch onto that as their crutch, as their validation, as their
100%.
Yeah, to give them strength, which is not, it's not real strength, but they think it is, right?
Right.
So I can see that they're doing that because since their mom took away their masculinity from them, now they feel like, well, I can regain it by my status of my job, by my degree, all that, which they can't. But
Absolutely, man.
yeah, no, I've been seeing that for a while before I even stumbled upon you. I've been seeing that. But so that's why I totally agree with you. You can't hate them for that because they're struggling with their inner demon to find that masculinity that was lost from them a while back.
Absolutely.
So I don't try to say, oh, I'm better than you, because I see that and you don't. I don't try to do that. That's not a good thing to do. They're definitely struggling with their own problems.
Absolutely.
But as far as that age range that I was talking about, the one that came right after yours, I don't know, man. Or do you think they're any bit stronger than this new era now?
They are no different than the Generation Z, generation whatever come after Z. It's the same spirit.
So they're just as weak as them.
100%.
I see. Yeah. No, I've been noticing that, but I wanted to ask you because you're an older gentleman, so that's why I wanted to.
They're no different than the millennials. They're no different than the Z's. It's the same weakness. It's the same evil. It's the same spirit. And it's just it is reinvented itself through these different generations, but it's the same evil spirit.
So when you said one time millennials are selfish, or you asked some guests that on the Fallen State, you feel that way for the generation before the millennials? They were selfish too.
100%.
I got you.
It's the same spirit. Amazing call, Kevin. Thank you, man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. I'm going to keep listening to you. I'll call you when I get a chance again.
Absolutely. Right? Okay. Amazing. Super chat. Super chats. There's one line open, by the way, 888-775-3773.
On buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, Mo Betta Stand Up. I'm cleaning up his name. Bought 5 coffees. Nice to hear from you, man. He says, never, ever apologize or say, I am sorry to a person of the Israeli religion. They do not accept forgiveness as the Father instructed. They lynched Jesus, he says. Apologizing to their religion is the same as pleading guilty and willingness to accept consequences for whatever you did to anger them.
Well, you're not supposed to apologize to anyone. You're supposed to forgive. What the?
Nice.
What is this saying? He said that they lynched Jesus?
They lynched Jesus.
What does that mean?
That means that they executed him without a proper trial.
Oh, the way they're doing Trump right now?
Yep.
Amazing. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you, Mo Betta. Keep them pithy, guys. Someone bought 3 coffees. Hi, Jesse. In my fallen state, I married a woman who already had 2 kids. Yeah, I messed up in taking someone else's family as my own. I saw the hell I was living in when I started to wake up. But since waking up, we've separated and life is amazing.
Nice.
Not clear yet whether I should divorce her legally right away or just be glad she's gone and live my life. Any advice?
Just live your life until you see what to do. You know, you'll see the next thing to do. I like the fact that you have not done the divorce yet because you don't see. Live that way. And if it's time to divorce or you should divorce her, you know what to do. Until then, just stay with the prayer, watch, and live your life. Amazing. Thank you.
William donated on Buy Me on a Cash App donation. Bond JLP on Cash App.
Right on.
Said for being a fisher of men.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, William.
MB bought a coffee. Hebrews 6 talks about the repentance from dead works. I'm starting to think dead works is all things done out of the mind/ego. What do you think?
It is. 100%. Right on. Thank you. Absolutely.
Gregatron bought a coffee. Jesse, I have a bone to pick with you.
Is it a chicken bone?
I don't know, but he asked, why are you always talking about Hassan and his dog? You sound bothered by it. When I was growing up, everybody around me had a dog.
Right, but they weren't living in the house. And they wouldn't eat ice cream just because Starbucks gave it to them and got diarrhea. They need to treat dogs like dogs and not like humans, and the dogs will be fine.
He said people who live in the city have dogs who come inside. People in the country usually have outside dogs. Not everybody grew up on a plantation or farm like you. Hassan, tell JLP to back off. Sorry for the long message.
Thank you.
I abbreviated it.
Thank you, buddy. I'm going to back off.
Come on, man.
And just let the dog get diarrhea. Ooh, let the dogs out. Look at the poor dog.
Cute. Oh, that's not cute. I mean, that's terrible.
What the? Hate love the dog, too.
Falcon Ing _ over on Twitch. JLP Talk is on Twitch. 1 Thessalonians 5:5. Ye are all children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of the darkness. For Joel, purple heart emoji.
Amazing. Thank you. Nice.
Urinal Chill's monthly supporter, subscriber on Rumble, Jason Lee Peterson Rumble. Morning, Alfred Jerkies and DRTs. How y'all?
All is well. Thank you. Amazing.
Evgeny Crosby with a couple of diamonds. This is an answer to the biblical question, I guess.
What does evil look like inside of you?
The evil inside of me looks like Hillary Clinton without her makeup. Lipstick emoji on. Devil emoji.
That's funny. Thank you. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday.
It's me, Zenya. Says, men in dresses aren't trans, they're mentally ill, she says. She also says Peru just labeled trans a mental illness.
Anyone that has anger is mentally ill.
Indeed.
Anyone that has anger is mentally ill.
Thank you for the Rumble rant. It's me, Zenya. And thanks for being a monthly supporting subscriber. That's cool. Dawn.
Thank you.
Donnie Girl's idea says NJ rally, New Jersey rally on Saturday, the Trump one, was epic. 10 rows back, and I was able to move up to 3rd row and see President Trump make history. Camped on the beach near front of the line. Waves threatened, but were no match for us.
Right on.
That's pretty cool.
What the? Real cool. Right on.
Quite a story.
Congratulations. Here it is. Thank you.
Neat.
Nice story.
Yeah. Neat. I'm butchering his name on purpose for the sake of the channel. Or for the sake of my own sense of decency. Says, shout out to Mr. Sandman, America's breed. Just for the record, Starbucks offers dog owners whipped cream, not ice cream. Whipped cream is not harmful to dogs. They love this creamy delightful. Long live Mr. Sandman and his seed. Paw print emojis.
Whipped cream is not good for dogs either. So did you get ice cream or whipped cream?
Yeah, it's whatever they give you. Yeah, it is kind of like a whipped cream situation.
Yeah, I was wondering, because Starbucks isn't known for any ice cream, do they?
They may have now for the dogs.
Whipped cream.
I mean, it's all, yeah.
So it's whipped cream. Thank you. Amazing.
Someone bought 5 coffees. Hi, Jesse. As always, enjoying your show. I called my mother to wish her Happy Mother's Day, as I do every year, but this time she did not answer. My wife called her, and she said she was just waking up to call back later. We have called her again several times, but her phone immediately rejects the call. I live in another state. It's hard to visit. What do you do? She's complained in the past I need to call her more. I remember you said people have the right not to want to talk to anybody.
You do have a right not to want to talk. You don't want to talk. Don't keep trying to hunt her down. Move on. You and your husband are family, not her mother or your mama. Move on. Don't hunt her down. Live your life. You're going to regret if you do.
No, he said his wife called her. He called her, and then she didn't pick up, and then his wife called her. So this is a man, I'm pretty sure.
Whatever. Move on. Really, move on.
Yeah, good advice.
Whatever the situation is. Your wife and you are family, not your mama. Nice. Thank you.
Over on D Live, Jesse Lee Peterson D Live, Aries 1 gave a diamond, no message.
Thank you. And whatever the situation, if you want to make it clearer, you can let me know. Call me and I can respond accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, Aries 1, for your diamond, no message as always.
Thank you.
Mike bought a coffee. Mike Zook. Jesse, why would a black mother give her daughter a name like Letitia or Shaniqua? Don't they know when someone sees that name on a resume, it goes right to the paper shredder?
Because they hate white people. They're trying to get away from white people in their mind. That's what that's all about. Thank you.
Mike Young bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, James Hake, and Bond family. Now, you guys don't have to agree with me on this one. But be honest, during Trump's presidency, did you guys find it obvious that the Chinese virus was done on purpose?
I don't know.
It was definitely exploited on purpose to try to hurt him and us.
Yeah, but I don't know about the other stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike Young. Jitsu James bought our coffee. Hassan and the JLP crew got to throw a surprise puppy daycare episode for Jesse on a day for a show. 20 puppies running through the studio, laughing face with tears coming out, and sideways laughing face, scrunched face, tears coming out.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you.
And thank you, guys. I do believe that is all for now.
Amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you all. Breaking news. This is from time.com. My producer's just like giving it to me right now. Breaking news. Breaking news. Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump have agreed to meet for a pair of televised debates before the November 5th election. They have agreed to meet for a pair of televised debates before the November 5th election. I would love to see that happen, but still don't believe that's going to happen. It might. I just can't see Joe Biden facing Trump. They're going to have to give him a lot of medication or something. What the? Tony is out of California. Tony, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. How you been?
All is well, Tony.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now you saying that Joe Biden will need a lot of medication to face Trump?
What I'm saying is that he doesn't seem that he's able to kind of walk on his own. He can't walk upstairs sometimes, when they had that when he did the so-called national speak or something, it was reported. I don't know, but they say that they pumped him up with a lot of medication, and then once the talk was done, he was like a balloon. All the medication inflated, and he was back in old self again.
I don't know about all that, Jesse. I mean,
so they are saying that there will be a debate, but we will see what happens. I just don't know. They have agreed to for a couple debates, a pair at least, before November 5th. Thank you, Tony. I gotta take a break. Manhood Hour is coming up now. Back in a moment.
Before I ask my question, I want to thank you so much. The silent prayer. You know, I'm 50 years old. At home, we have a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And I got to tell you, introducing the silent prayer to my family, instead of just sitting down and saying the same old prayer over and over again before we eat our meal, to just be silent, bringing all thoughts into captivity. Brother, that has been such a huge, huge blessing in our lives. I just want to encourage anyone to try that out. It's amazing to look around after we've done our silent prayer before we eat, to see the excitement in my kids' faces, like, oh yeah, Dad, I had a bunch today. Or the other one will be like, yeah, you know, I had a couple things that I've been thinking about. It really takes root, Jesse, and so I want to thank you so much, and ever since then, it's been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tony. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. You're going to know God and his love. It's going to be amazing, man.
Biden is raising tariffs. I'm wondering if he's trying to be like a wannabe our greatest president Trump on China. And Canada wildfires again polluting our air. Thanks a lot, Canada. No, shout out to Canada. We wish them well. And cancel. We need to cancel. We, the SJWs, need to cancel the Kansas City Chiefs kicker because he's Christian. He's too Christian. And some man blew $61 million in order to lose an election, sort of reminiscent of Bloomberg spending $1 billion, even though that's just 61 million is just 6% of $1 billion. What a mess. And other dumb, evil politics, including a black female trying to be a senator in Maryland. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jason Lee Peterson Show. Manhood Hour is coming right up, guys. This is Wednesday, May 15th. 2024 AD. Manhood Hour is always the third hour. There is one line open. You can call in right now during Hake News, not fake news, to get on hold, to get on air with JLP, and he will get to your calls, guys. CNN reports President Joe Biden, the Crooked Joe, increasing tariffs on $18 billion in Chinese imports across a handful of sectors deemed strategic to national security. An attempt to cripple their development of critical technologies instead of to prioritize U.S. production. Isn't that nice? The increases will apply to imported steel, aluminum, legacy semiconductors, and electric vehicles, battery components, critical minerals, solar cells, cranes, and medical products. New tariff rates will take place over the next 2 years. This follows other recent attempts by Washington, the swamp, to limit Chinese companies' influence on U.S. consumers and its so-called national security, especially ahead of the presidential election for November. And that's maybe what it's really about, is to save face because Trump is going to go after him on China eating our lunch. What a mess. Canada wildfires, more than 100 raging wildfires in Canada again, I guess, forcing thousands to evacuate as flames encroach on communities. Roads out of Fort McMurray in Alberta were crammed with evacuating cars Tuesday as an out-of-control 51,000-acre wildfire creeps toward the city's edge. The approaching flames are worrying residents who lived through the 2016 wildfires, which forced 90,000 people to evacuate and wrought billions of dollars in damage on homes and businesses. Despite wet weather on the horizon, firefighting will remain a challenge in several provinces through midweek due to gusty winds. Hazardous smoke from the blaze has also been wafting into the United States and reducing our air quality. Get it together, Canada. Anyway, based Kansas City Chiefs kicker. Who's not scoring any points among the far-left females at the skim? The Kansas City Chiefs kicker, Harrison Butker. Butker. Pardon me if I'm mispronouncing his name. He's a 28-year-old white Catholic, married, father of 2, born in 1995. His graduation speech at Benedictine College last weekend. He's an NFL player, right? Last weekend, it's facing a growing backlash. During his address at the Catholic College, Butker said that women have been told diabolical lies, fact, called LGBTQIA plus pride a deadly sin. It is sick and twisted and lifeless. And he said abortion and surrogacy stem from the pervasiveness of disorder, which is obviously true. Now many are reportedly calling for him to be kicked out of the Kansas City Chiefs. Kick the kicker out. He's too Christian, too manly. What a mess. Shout out to the Catholics, the good ones, right? Several tens of millions of dollars spent to lose an election. Maryland Democrat Representative David Trone, Trone, spent $61 million on his self-funded Senate primary campaign, dollars, but lost the race Tuesday to Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks. What a mess. Following her stunning win, Alsobrooks will face Republican former governor, Larry Hogan, whose entrance into the race for the Senate shook up the Senate battlefield. She'll be the first black senator. What a mess. If she wins. I'm James Hake, now back to JLP.
got to stand up strong. Think the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. The third hour, you can get involved by calling 888-7753. 773-888-77-JESSE. My biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. What does evil look like inside of you? Not somebody else. See your own evil. What does evil look like inside of you? What does it look like? Have you ever asked yourself that? And most people don't want to see the evil in them. They want to see it in everybody else, but not themselves. The hardest thing for a human being to do, because human nature is evil, is to see the evil in you. Oh, but you can see it in everybody else, you think, but not yourself. What does it look like inside of you? To listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad, because some people do. They're busy, they're running around. Anywhere in the world, wherever you are, you can be listening to the show no matter what you're doing and where you are. You could be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad. Whether you're running away from running to America, because you're not running away from the police at the borders, because you can just walk in. You can turn yourself over and get in. So that's not the case. But whatever you're doing, taking fentanyl, you're getting some of that free wine and vodka up in San Francisco if you're a homeless person. Whatever. You're bringing in fentanyl and all kind of drugs, and you're making buku money and sending it back to your country. You can be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 605-615-4131. That's 605-615-4131. I remember. I keep on saying that. I get it after a while. I remember. Beta. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP talk, or rebuildingtheman.com. rebuildingtheman.com. It is the third hour of the show already this morning. And every Wednesday, third hour is Manhood Hour. What is a man? What is a man?
It's an adult human male.
Manhood. Hillary or President Trump?
I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Beta male. A man is a male who turns to man. Alpha male. Live right, be right, and lead the way.
This is the Green Machine. Green Machine.
It's too dangerous.
The risk of brain injury in football has been a hot topic in the news.
Can I go, Mom?
Be careful. But now a PSA video has taken things to an entirely new level.
Tackle football is like smoking. The younger I start,
the longer I'm exposed to danger.
8, 9, 10 years old enough for Green Machine, a racer for guys who like a ride that's really fast.
That it's too dangerous, Jug.
What a mess. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Men, it's time to take back control. If you have a family, you have children and a wife, you need to take back control of your family, especially your children. You can't make your wife change if she doesn't. Leave her to hell. Don't argue with her about her hell. Don't be mad at her about her hell. Don't argue, leave her to hell. But watch your children. Remember when boys used to be tough like that? On the older commercial you saw, not those new ones. There is an order to life. Whether we like it or not, whether you like, I like, anybody like it or don't like it, ain't nothing else going to work but that. Of God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. It ain't no other way. It's not going to work any other way. Look how messed up things are getting when human beings try to do it Satan's way and not God's way. Because that's what they're doing. If they're not doing it the right way, they're doing it the wrong way, which is evil. Evil is evil, and evil is evil, and human beings are evil. Don't let anyone tell you that you can find something good in human beings. No, you can't. There's no good in the human beings. Zero. You got to overcome evil and return to good, and then good will operate through you, but it won't be your goodness or my goodness. It will be good, but not yours. There's no such thing as your goodness. And I have to tell you, anger is going out of control. Everybody out of control. Everybody and their mama, if you're black, everybody and their mama, pushing anger and calling it good. Even a Christian. Well, Jesus was angry to justify human anger, their anger. They said Jesus was angry. Isn't that something? And they were miserable. Jesus wasn't miserable. If Jesus had been angry, he would have been miserable, unhappy, jealous, strife, gossiping, biting, and trying to hurt human beings. He came and set you free. He didn't come to hurt you. And there is so much anger in the world today. I want you to watch this clip from X. Watch this.
Get away from my car.
Come on!
Get away from
really,
my car.
you? Boy? Get out of your car, boy! Son!
Go somewhere, crazy.
No, I'm not crazy. Get out of your car now. Come on. Come on now. I'm so ready to fight club this. Let's go. Come on.
No.
Come on. Oh, you're a get a degree. Go to school.
I am what I
Go
need.
to school. Go to school.
You see my car versus your car.
Get a degree.
Bye.
She's like, get a degree.
Bye.
Make $1 million a year. Are you gonna post this? Because you look like a right now. I with your get a degree. Go to school. Go to school. Oh, I'm putting it on the internet. Really?
Yo, get away from my...
What a miserable female, right? Miserable. That's why she kept going back and forth. The thrill of doing it mean everything to her. She got a degree. And look how miserable you are with a degree. A piece of expensive paper is not going to bring you peace. It's not. One other quick thing about some jokes really write themselves. They have this hunger strike at Princeton University. The Palestinian people, I guess. Yeah. But they hungry. Fat as a pig, but hungry. Watch this from Citizen Free Press. A scene from Princeton hunger strike for Hamas. They hungry for Hamas. You gonna eat Hamas when you get it? Watch this from X.
Almost every faith tradition in the world engages in the spiritual practice of fasting. The three major Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Islam,
Hamas.
and Christianity, are no exception to this. Jesus himself said, of some evils in the world, they require both prayer and fasting. And we are here to live into that word.
This is my choice, and I would not spend my birthday doing anything other than being here and standing in solidarity with you all and standing in solidarity with our siblings and innocent people in Gaza. This is absolutely unfair. My peers and I, we are starving. We are physically exhausted.
That fat lady, she ain't starving.
We are both cold
Hey,
and hot
y'all.
at the same time.
Come on in.
We are all immunocompromised. They would love to continue physically weakening us because they can't stand to say no to unjust murder.
Amazing. That first woman, she was not hungry. Looked like she had just finished breakfast. She could use a hunger strike. She can use a hunger strike.
What the?
For the next year. Amazing. Amazing. So I'm going to get to your calls. I see your calls. I see all your calls. We're going to get to them. I have an amazing surprise for y'all today. Manhood Hour. And it's an amazing surprise. Some of you all didn't know the Anchor Baby had a family. You might not have known it, but I'm here to tell you he does have a family. He always had a family. He always will have a family. The Anchor Baby's family is in town, and it's been amazing to see them, meet them. I met the mother before, but not the sisters. The Anchor Baby mother's here and his sisters. And I want you guys to introduce your first name only. We'll start here. Should we start with your mother?
Okay. Let me move that mic out of the way. But hello.
Okay.
Good morning.
Okay, well, we'll start here while he's working on the mic.
Okay. Sure. Oh, yes. Hi. My name is Paula.
Paula.
Yes.
One of the Anchor Baby's sister, Paula. Yes. Amazing.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Amazing. And your first name?
Yeah, Romy, and I'm the older Nikki's sister.
Right on.
Hi. My name is Lucy. I'm Nicola's mom. I'm very happy and I am here.
Right on. Nice. Nick, see, he has a family. Yeah. He's not just an Anchor Baby by himself.
I'm running around trying to get these shots right, but what's up, guys?
Right.
Hey.
Is that fine with the shot?
I'm about to go fix it, but
so the
just want to say hi. What's up, y'all? I'm here too.
There you go.
With the fam.
Sean's gonna work on it too over there. And so this is the Anchor Baby. Everybody know the Anchor Baby. He's here Monday through Friday. Monday through Thursday at 12 noon. And then on Fridays, 4 p.m. 4 p.m. A genius. Really is.
Que un genio. I'm going to translate a lot for my mom, too.
Okay.
But that's my mom right there with the leopard print.
Your mom's so pretty.
Let's go. Yeah. So I'll be translating. They're calling me, me llamaron un genio, me dicen.
Okay. I am, me siento orgullosa de ti, mi amor.
She's proud.
She's proud.
So this is all the first time, except for the mother, is your first time in L.A.?
No, actually, I was here before, like 4 years or 3 years before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So your first time in LA?
No.
Really?
Well, last time it's been since 2011, so it's been
nice.
A while.
And so they're from Canada, by the way. His family is from Canada. Nick is from Canada as well.
What do you think? Anchor Baby from Canada.
I know. Wait a minute. Hey, there's something. Nick got a family.
I didn't just come out of a test tube. Like everybody thinks.
What is LA like? How do you guys like LA? How do you see it? What do you think about it?
For me, was very, como encontraste Los Angeles? For me, it was very kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
It is, to be honest, is very dirty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The weather is very nice compared to Canada, right?
Right.
Right, but yeah, it was.
It's a mess.
It is.
It used to be so beautiful at one time, but it's a mess.
Sad.
What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think the first impression is not pleasant. Like, it's obviously very different from Canada, of course. So yeah, you see lots of
Que le está diciendo que nada
garbage
más
on
que
the
la diferencia de
streets
Canadá.
and yeah. So obviously it's a much bigger city than Toronto, where we're from.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I know it's not as as pleasant as you would expect.
I know.
But yeah, the weather, it's nice. The weather's been nice, and we visited some nice places yesterday. So,
Right on.
But overall, yeah, I mean, it's LA, I'm sure.
That's
you know,
right.
yeah.
Would you like to live in LA?
¿Te gustaría vivir en Los Ángeles?
Maybe.
Really?
Yes. Nicolás, le dices, por favor. Hace muchos años yo vine aquí por primera vez. Tal vez hará unos
She came here many years ago.
30 años.
Oh,
30
okay.
years ago.
Oh, okay.
Era en Los Ángeles, lo vi totalmente diferente a hoy en día.
That was
No
totally
sé.
different back then too.
Of course,
It was
10 years
what?
ago.
It was totally different back then what she saw
Oh,
too.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ahora veo un cambio muy grande en Los Ángeles.
Huge change.
Yeah.
Porque en ese tiempo, en aquel momento, yo lo encontré muy bonito.
Right on.
Y hoy
She liked it
encuentro
back then.
otra clase de ángeles.
Yeah, when I
Pero-
first came to in 1968, it was beautiful.
Ya.
But no more. It's a mess.
1968 vino.
Sí, y yo creo que menos.
And so let me ask,
No.
what is a man?
¿Qué es un hombre?
For me. For me, un hombre es very important in the family.
Yeah.
Muy importante para mí en la familia. Veo a un hombre como la cabeza del hogar.
She sees him as
Sí.
the head of the house of the household,
Donde-
she said.
Donde sí voy a estar muy no sometida, porque no me gusta, no soy
She's-
sumisa.
She's not very submissive though. She says
Pero-
she wouldn't submit.
Pero,
What? No.
You see the leopard print.
pero me encanta que el hombre estemos a la par.
She likes to be equal with the man. She wants to. She
But
wants
tell
him
the
to be
God
like,
didn't make it that way.
que Dios no lo hizo así.
Bueno, por
Que-
eso, hay momentos en que sí, el hombre es el que manda, pero tenemos que partir del comienzo de que debemos saber elegir ese hombre, porque si elegimos un hombre equivocado, tradúcele, Nicky.
She's saying that yes, that the man. Dices que el hombre que es el que manda.
Sí, pero tenemos
The
que
man
primero saber
leads,
elegirlo.
but the woman has to know how to pick one.
How to pick the right man?
Right, how to pick the right man.
Una mala
Sí.
elección.
Can I help you guys out here with something?
Yeah.
I have somebody that can maybe help you guys, because you guys want to get your thoughts out faster, no? Oh man, sorry. I was going to use AI to translate between you guys, but it's okay.
Oh,
okay.
that's right.
It
Yeah,
says
that's right.
connection failed.
But
What
it's
is
an
a-
interesting question.
I'm gonna
Especially,
ask,
I find especially for
what
my
is a
mom.
man?
What is a man?
Mhm.
Wow, what is a man? A man, it's yeah, a man is. No,
You're
it's
like,
supposed
yeah,
to be
man.
strong. No, because you know what? The thing is that there's not there. I find that there isn't manhood is dying, or
Yeah.
it's you know what I mean. So for me, a man should be a man that is strong, with character, protective. Yeah, that's my perception of a man. Protective.
One that is strong and
strong,
protective.
protective.
Yeah.
Treats the woman the right way. Yeah, I mean it's a very it's a complex question. Really, I don't know that I can that you right that you can answer it just like that.
What is a man?
Mhm. Espérale, ahora algo con Romy.
What is a man?
Yeah, Well, for me, it's easy because I also assist to a church where the manhood is what they say. It's very affirmant, right? So a man is the person who creates God to guide the family, to guide the community, right?
Yeah.
And it's not for me, I'm against with my mom, it's nothing to do with the submission, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, nothing to do with that. But I believe that the man is the person who creates God to guide
Creates? Creates?
Yeah.
Okay.
To guide the family, to guide, yeah. That's what it is.
And would you ever obey your husband?
¿Obedecerías a tu esposo?
Now I can say yes, because I know that obey is not in a bad way. Obey is not like, you need to do this, that. No. Obey is, I'm going to do it first, and then you can follow me, because he's going to open the path, right?
Yeah.
So why not obey him, right? The interesting thing is, like my mom said, is to find that man, right? It's not easy to find that man, right? It's not easy.
And so would you ever obey your husband?
¿Obedecerías a tu esposo?
Huh? She said no.
Right away, she said no.
What? No. I understood that.
She understood the question right away,
Yeah,
right?
That one
There's
she
no
understood.
translating.
Ahí sí no necesitabas translator.
It's like, no.
way, I know.
Of course.
No, depende, Nikki.
We'll leave the
It
show
depends,
now.
she
You can
says.
continue on with her.
She says it depends.
Jessy, depende, dile, Nikki.
Sí, aquí le digo.
Depende, porque en mi caso personal,
In her personal case,
no supe elegir.
she didn't really know how to pick.
Y
She made a
elegí
mistake.
mal.
She picked bad.
Entonces yo no pude obedecer
So I really couldn't obey because of her bad
porque
choices.
yo elegí mal.
Because of her bad
Esa
choice.
experiencia tengo.
That's my
Pero estoy
experience.
segura que si yo elijo un buen hombre como es, lo voy a obedecer.
But I'm sure if I had picked the right man, I would have obeyed him.
Pero estos que yo elegí me equivoqué.
Now she's saying
no los
these that I
obedecí, ¿por
picked,
qué no?
I picked bad. So she's saying now more than one.
Oh,
So
okay.
she's picked a, yeah.
Amazing. Would you? You're married, right?
I'm married. Yes.
Would you obey your? Do you obey your husband?
I do. I do.
Ella lo
No,
obedece.
it sounds. No, it's as a woman, especially coming from a strong, mother like that, in society teaches us or wants to show us a different, and put the shame on saying this. Yeah, and I'm sure, just by me saying yes, I do obey, and it's shocking even to say it, but I do because
Right
I
on.
happen
Nice.
to have a husband who's really leads by example, he's a really smart guy, so I'm okay obeying him because
Why do women have a problem with the word
¿Por qué las
obey?
mujeres tienen un problema
because
con esa palabra?
society, I think it's society that is, well, I don't know society, but it's so much. Maybe it is society. I don't know. Maybe it is society that's taught us to that obey, no, that, and then this nowadays this wave of feminism and empowering women, and it's like it's diminishing a man. It's like it's putting manhood and men under and we're supposed to be, so it's shameful to be obedient to men. Why? And we're self-sufficient and that sort of thing. I think it's the, I don't know, what do you think? I think the same way as a woman needs a man needs a woman.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right? So yeah, I think if anything, I think it's society that's
Have you
putting-
noticed that women have a hard time with the word obey?
Yes.
Mujeres tienen un problema con esa palabra.
Yeah,
Obedecer.
very much.
Yeah.
Very much.
Isn't that a mess?
Yes.
What a mess.
Eso es un relajo, ¿no? ¿Le pregunta?
La palabra de obedecer.
Sí. Dice que es un relajo que a las mujeres es un problema esa palabra.
Sí, precisamente por lo que acabo de decir. Por
She says
ejemplo, en
precisely for
nuestro
what I just
país
said.
hay mucho machismo.
In our country, there's a lot of machismo.
Entonces, las mujeres casi siempre están sometidas a un hombre en muchas circunstancias.
So in
Por
many cases, where she's
económico
from,
o
women are submitted to
por lo que
men
sea.
for many
Y hombres que
circumstances,
tienen 2 y 3
financially.
mujeres.
Sometimes
y hay
these men
que
have 2 or 3
obedecerles,
women.
y hay que quedarse callado, no
And you have to
decir
stay
nada.
quiet.
Entonces, la palabra obedecer como que encierra todo eso y
The
y
word
no-
obey
no nos
closes the
gusta.
conversation, she says, and that's why she doesn't like it. because then it
Really?
sounds like you have to go along with these machismo men she's describing that have 2 or
But-
3
but
wives,
what do you think,
or 2 or
Jesse?
3
Do you
women.
think
So
that
the
a
men in
woman-
her country eat a lot of cheese, you say?
Machismo.
They smoke cheese?
No.
They
Maybe
eat
is that even
cheese.
English?
But Jesse, do you think that a woman should obey regardless?
Yes.
Regardless
Right.
of who you happen to have picked
Yes.
as a husband.
Right.
Wow,
Ella le
that's
preguntó
strong.
si el esposo
That's
debe
what?
obedecer,
Strong,
aunque
like-
sea,
Yeah.
whatever,
Harsh.
cualquier razón. La esposa.
That hurts.
Y Jesse dijo que sí.
And the reason for that
Okay.
is because
Espere, mami.
if you do right and you are right
Yes.
and the husband is wrong,
Right.
you're going to be fine. Because
Really?
you are doing right. And you're being right and doing right, and your situation will work itself out in ways you never imagined.
You think so?
But if you're wrong and he's wrong, or he's wrong and you're wrong, there's no way that's going to work out.
Si él es una persona incorrecta, sí, pero tú eres una persona correcta en el matrimonio, no va a importar.
But Jesse, if you're obeying, let's say I'm doing the right thing, I'm obeying this person, this
Right.
my husband who's doing
You
doing
saw her
wrong.
face.
But how successful that marriage or that household will be?
Well, if
¿Cómo vas
it's not based on him at all, whether he's right or wrong, and you are right,
Uh-huh.
meaning that you love what's right, you're doing the right thing, you are not of anger, you're going to be fine. So either the husband will get right, or
okay,
he would
gotcha.
leave the marriage.
I was
Okay.
going to say the same.
Okay.
The hard thing is to understand that and to have patience and
Yeah.
Faith.
self-control to understand, okay, I'm gonna wait on God or whatever,
Right,
right?
yeah.
But it's very hard, right? Because
Yeah.
try to imagine a woman with a bad husband, with 3 not working. Because for me, a man who doesn't work, for me is very, very
Right, it's not good.
It's not good, right?
Yeah.
So
Explícale, Romy.
Yeah.
No, don't worry.
que
Hable con Jess.
un hombre.
Let her explain,
Sí, sí, sí.
Yeah.
Un hombre, ¿se entendió? Un hombre que
Sí,
no
sí.
trabaja y todo. Yeah, she
Okay.
did understand.
Pero en este caso, en un caso así como pone Romy un hombre, Dios le permite a uno que lo deje o que él le haga caso a uno.
Sí, es lo que dijo
Ah,
Jessie.
bueno.
That's what
Espera,
that's
dilo
what
otra vez.
Jessie
No,
Para
no,
decirle a
that's
Jesse.
that's not what Jesse said.
What she
Para yo
said.
decirle a Jesse bien,
Mira,
repítelo.
En un caso de que como un hombre que describe Romy,
said. Malo.
In a case of a marriage like they're describing in this conversation, a bad man, so to speak, bad husband.
Right.
Dios permitiría o le gustaría que uno salga de una relación así.
God would want you, or He
No
would
creo
permit
que-
you, and He would even want you to leave a marriage like that. She's saying
No creo que
she
Dios
doesn't think God would want you to stay there.
quiera que
Ask
ustedes
her why
sufran.
would she choose a bad man?
Él te pregunta, ¿por qué escogerías un esposo malo, un hombre malo?
Ahí donde está el punto de todo.
That's where the point of everything is, she says.
And the answer is what?
Y la respuesta es...
La respuesta es que cuando uno se equivoca tiene consecuencias.
The answer is when you make a mistake. Espera, dilo otra vez. When you make a mistake, you pay for it.
Consecuencias
You pay for it.
Amazing. And why would a woman choose a bad man?
Misma pregunta para ella.
Wow. For many reasons, right? Because I think because one, because I have a kids, right? I have my 13-year and my 22. So I would say, I'm sorry to say this, but because they don't listen to their parents, right? Because we,
The
you know,
kids-
constantly tell them, do this, do that, don't do this, right? And they don't, they wanted to do whatever they want.
The kids?
Yeah.
But why would a woman choose a bad man?
One of the reasons, because they don't believe us, they don't see an example at home.
Have you ever chosen a bad man in your life?
No.
Oh, your man been good?
Yes.
Okay. Why would a woman choose a bad man?
We are going to break. We
Lack
got 10
of,
seconds here. Oh, dile.
Self-esteem, maybe. Settling for less, or maybe picking too fast.
I'll pick up on this right on the other side of this break, folks. Back in a moment, and then we're going to get to your calls and all that. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Okay, welcome back. 888-77-53-773. 8877. Just in my final segment with my guests. They were a little late because they were out of town. We got to be patient. And I'm going to get to you guys' calls. And the treasure chest is open on D-Live. Right. So a couple announcements. Number one, the Hake report is coming up at the top of this hour. The Hake report from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then after the Hake report, Joel Friday TV, he black, at 11 a.m., the Hake, Joel Friday TV, and at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby, energy given to him by God, at 12 noon today. Are you doing your show today since your folks are here?
How can I not?
Oh, okay.
Wait, are you giving me an out?
Yeah, if you want it.
Do you get?
Since they're here.
What if I just do it later? I'll do a nighttime thing.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever we figured out. But
yeah.
Keep going. We got the family.
The American Anchor Baby. Also, a brand new episode of the FallenState.tv tomorrow. Brand new episode of the show. I have back with me Susanna Weiss. And Susanna was a previous guest on the Fallen State 4 years ago. She's a writer, sex and relationship coach, and the author of a brand new book, Subjectified, Becoming a Sexual Subject. What a mess. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
A lot of women dress like sluts now.
Oh, because it's nice to feel sexy and feel wanted.
And would you ever dress like a slut?
Oh, yeah. It's fun.
Oh, well, at least you're honest about it. What's good about feelings?
I think they put you in touch with who you are and what you need.
What the? Have you forgiven your mother for screwing you up?
She did.
Yeah, she made you in her image.
That's, I think, the most profound thing you've said.
I told you, look to the man for the answer. TheFallenState.tv this Friday at 12 noon. And support The Fallen State by going to TheFallenState.tv /donate or locals.com. And don't forget the Women's Forum tomorrow night, every Thursday night. The Ladies Forum at 7 p.m. Come on down, ladies. It's going to be amazing. So let me do this, and let me tell you, folks, this is my last segment with my guests, all right? They were supposed to be early, but got caught up in the traffic. They knew in L.A. for now. You were going to make a point. I asked the question, why do women choose Batman, right? And you say.
Ibas a decir algo.
Que me doy cuenta que para uno elegir un hombre adecuado, primero debe uno estar tranquilo como con uno mismo y haber perdonado, no tener rencores, no tener tantos traumas, rabias y eso, para sentirse libre y poder elegir esa persona. Porque en la libertad que uno tenga, puede también elegir algo igual. O ¿sí me entiendes?
It's in this conversation, she's realizing that to pick this right man that you guys are talking about, that she has to have that peace, like be at peace within, to forgive and to let go of these traumas, because you'll be picking the same thing.
Yes.
And
Bad
she said
women
she's
pick
realizing that in
bad
this
men.
conversation.
Después de mis errores, de haber elegido
After
mal,
making my mistakes, she says,
después de haber elegido mal,
after
sé que
picking
en
wrong,
este momento elegiría bien.
she knows now that she
Elegiría un
thinks
buen
she'd pick right now.
Amazing.
That's why she doesn't have any now.
That's what
Porque
she
ya
doesn't have
dentro de
any now.
mí
That's what my
está
sister
esa tranquilidad y esa paz.
Right on. What
on.
do you think the reason that women pick bad men?
I think because they just don't. Somehow you gravitate towards that. I think
You do. You gravitate to what you hate.
Que tú
Bad, angry women pick angry
estás
men.
atraído a lo que tú
Isn't that
odias.
amazing?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So if women want the best man, the right man, they have to overcome themselves.
Right.
They got to be right in order to pick the right man.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Wow. Yeah. So true.
Amazing, huh?
Amazing.
It is.
Amazing.
It is amazing.
Amazing. So let me ask this, and then I want the final words from you
Okay.
guys. Do you have anger?
Tienes rabia.
¿Contra los hombres?
She asks against men?
Against men?
No, well, we
No,
know
solo-
we know she
Hide, guys. Hide.
Él está diciendo, ya sabemos eso.
Everybody hide.
En broma, pero que... No, en period. Tienes rabia.
Posiblemente la tendré.
Possibly I do.
He tenido que ser una mujer fuerte
I've had to be really strong
para
in my
poder
life
haber educado a mis hijas
to be able
sola.
to educate my
Eduqué
daughters.
5 hijos
I educated
sola.
5 kids by myself.
Me tuve que revestir de mucha fortaleza
I had
para
to
poderlos
gather
educar
up a lot of
sola.
strength.
No tuve apoyo de nadie.
I really
So
didn't
is
have
that a
any
yes?
help
She
from
has
anyone.
anger?
Dice, ¿fue una sí o no?
¿Cómo?
Te está después de lo que dijiste, te pregunta, ¿fue sí o no?
Tú me estás preguntando que me
You're
dé
asking
rabia.
me if
o
I have
que
anger.
si
Que
tengo
si
rabia.
tiene.
Que si tengo en este momento, no.
She says, in this moment, none.
In her life?
But does she have it, period?
Pero si no en este momento, si lo tienes rabia.
En este momento no la tengo.
She says, in this moment, no.
No.
But she does have it.
Pero si lo tienes algunas veces.
Sí la tengo.
Pero sí tiene.
Pero sí tienes.
¿Tú me la ves?
She's saying, do you see it in me?
That's not the question.
Esa no es la pregunta.
Do you have anger?
¿Tienes rabia?
Te respondo no.
She says no.
So you never get angry.
Entonces, ¿nunca te da rabia?
Sí.
don't need translation
Depende de
there.
las circunstancias y depende de los momentos.
Depends on the circumstances and the moment, she says.
Por ejemplo,
So
en este
For
momento,
example, in this moment,
ya me está dando rabia.
So
for
she-
example, in this moment, I'm getting it a
She's
little
getting
bit, she
angry.
says.
Angry now.
So she does have anger.
Apparently, she says, in this moment, I'm getting it a little
So
bit.
you do have anger.
Entonces, sí tienes. La respuesta es sí, entonces.
Bueno, hoy estoy muy contenta. Yo
She
me
says,
siento
"No, I'm very
feliz,
happy today.
Siento contenta. Y si
feel
miro
quite
unos días
happy.
atrás, también me veo así
If I look
contenta.
quite a ways back, I
Si
still
miro
see
unos
happiness.
años más atrás,
If I go
me
years,
veo con rabia.
I see anger.
So does she have anger?
La pregunta otra vez, ¿tienes rabia?
Hoy no.
Oh, not today.
So does she get angry?
Entonces, ¿te da rabia?
Me imagino que de pronto me
She
dará en
imagines-
algunas
Yes,
circunstancias.
in some circumstances that she might.
Estoy siendo honesta.
She's being honest, she says.
Very difficult guy. You have.
Do you have anger?
¿Tú tienes rabia?
Yes.
Oh, you-
Now
you
I
understand
realize that, yes, I have it.
And do you have anger?
I guess so. What is anger, though?
Do you have anger?
What is it? Is it being- do I have
you
anger?
have anger?
But who doesn't have anger? Isn't an emotion that everybody's allowed to, or not allowed, but isn't it a natural emotion as human beings to experience anger?
Do you
Somehow.
have anger?
Oh yes, yes.
En vista de esto, sí. En
My mom
vista de
understood
esto,
that
sí.
one. She does. No translation needed.
But the anger that you talk about, is it an anger? Do you have anger? Is it meaning, am I angry all the time?
Do you want? Do you believe that you can overcome anger and live a life with no anger?
¿Crees que puedes superar la rabia y vivir una vida sin rabia?
I think
Él
so.
pregunta.
I think that would be ideal. I think so.
You believe you can do that?
I think so.
How about you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very, very almost impossible,
Okay. It's almost impossible,
I think.
but not totally impossible.
Not totally.
But
not
it's,
totally.
it's almost impossible, not all the way.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you believe you can live a life with no anger? Period.
Yo pienso que la rabia es una emoción que hace parte del ser humano.
Anger is part of a human
Y
experience.
que en cualquier momento puedo sentir rabia, pero sí la debo controlar. Es diferente. Tener que saber controlar esa rabia. ¿Qué hago con esa rabia? A dejarla explotar.
And
She's
so-
saying that she's saying that anger and feeling it is part of the normal human experience, but it's about what you do with that anger and that you should control it, she said.
And so do you believe that you can live a life with no anger, period?
Pero crees que puedes vivir una vida sin ¿entendiste?
Sin rabia.
Sin rabia completamente.
Creo que puedo
hasta más
controlar mis emociones. Creo que puedo controlar mis emociones. Que sabría controlar un momento de rabia. Pero que vaya a vivir sin rabia completamente en mi vida, lo creo imposible porque hace parte de mi esencia, de mi ser humano.
She
Soy
says
un
part
ser
of her
humano
essence.
que siento emociones, alegría, tristeza, rabia,
Feeling
muchas
these emotions,
emociones
sadness,
buenas
ups,
y
downs,
malas. Que
good
las
and
pueda
bad.
controlar, considero de que sí.
Controlling them is possible, but
Pero de que
feeling
no
them is
vayan a
part of her.
existir en mi ser, no.
And so do you believe you can live a life with no anger, period?
Otra vez la pregunta.
No,
Pues, no.
You don't believe it?
No.
Oh, okay. And do you believe you can almost? And do you believe you can live a life with no anger?
Yes.
Oh, you do believe
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So why not live that way?
Porque solo
Because
porque
you're
no entonces vive así.
stubborn, or stubborn. I think stubbornness, or not
okay.
wanting to see. Yeah.
Real fast because
Yeah,
of time.
sure.
Do you want me to tell you how to live a life with no anger?
¿Quieres que le digan cómo vivir una vida así?
Me encantaría escucharte.
Would love to hear it.
Okay. Forgive your mother.
Perdonen a su mamá.
Siento que la perdoné.
She feels she has.
No.
No, ok.
Forgive your mother. She did the best she could.
Ella hizo lo mejor que pudo.
Sí. ¿Me disculpas? ¿Puedo hacerte una pregunta?
Can I ask you a question? She asked
Yes.
Cuando se vive en un mundo así y se ve una injusticia, por ejemplo,
When you
no
live
es
in a
posible
world like we
sentir uno
live in,
rabia, pero saberla controlar.
when we live in a
Porque
world like we
se me
live
hace
in and you see an
imposible.
injustice like we do in this world and you feel that anger, can't you just control it? Solo control.
Solo puedo controlarla,
Can
pero,
I just feel that anger and then just control it?
pero la puedo
No,
sentir.
no, because
Dice
anger
no.
is evil.
No, porque la rabia
It's the
es la
spirit of
maldad.
evil. It's the spirit of Satan. That's why it destroys everything. It destroys you, your children, the grandkids. And
espíritu de
God does
Satanás.
not want you to have anger. That's why he said, go and forgive, and I will forgive you. And he'll take the spirit of anger away. And that way you don't pass it on to your children. You will be free. You have love. And you will pass on love instead of anger.
Dios dijo que ve y perdona, y yo te perdono a ti y te quito ese espíritu de rabia, ese espíritu de Satanás, porque cuando tienes ese espíritu, tú se lo das a los hijos, a los otros hijos y
Okay.
destruye todo.
It's not from God. It's of
No
evil.
es de Dios.
What do you think about that?
Wow. No, now it's very profound, and it's not. I think I have forgive my mom.
Have you told her that?
Yeah, I
you-
remember. I remember like 20 years ago. Remember, but this is a good time to say it again. Mamita, perdóneme.
Say, I'm sorry. What you have to do is
Nice.
say,
Digo, la perdono.
you get
That's
to
so
know
sweet.
yourself, and
Nice.
you got to realize that you do have this anger, and that it's evil. It's not good. Once you can admit that it's evil, because human beings don't want to admit that they're evil, the heart is evil, and once you realize you become like your mother, and you, well, I can't help myself, it would cause me to realize she couldn't help herself, then you will forgive her. And then forgive your father for not protecting you from her. He didn't know how to deal with her.
Right.
He didn't know how to deal with the hell in her because he married his mama. You become attracted to what you hate. And it cycle repeats itself. So you got to forgive her, and then you're going to love her with God's love, meaning that you'll be fine. And that way you don't pass it on to your children, because anger is evil. Have you forgiven your mother? That means no.
Yeah, working on that. Honestly, daily, on a daily basis.
When you say you're working on it, how are you working on it?
On unforgiving, forgetting.
You can't work on it.
No?
No, you just
Is
have
it
to.
just like that?
Yeah. Once you realize I have this anger and I'm wrong for judging, because that's what anger is. It separates you from God. Once you realize, I do resent her. I realize she can't help herself, though.
Mm-hmm.
Mom, I'm sorry for resenting you. I know now you couldn't help yourself. You were crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
That makes sense?
Sorry?
That makes sense?
Yeah, perfect sense.
And I'm telling you, your
100%.
whole life will change, and you will live a life with no anger. Thank you. You're not created to have anger.
Okay.
Anger is evil,
'Cause
and it comes from the mother.
Wow. Yeah, because again, see, we're all saying the kind of where we were starting off saying the same thing, that anger is part of our human emotion, human nature, but it's not.
It's not. God would take that away from you.
Amazing.
The
Amazing.
last thing that I would love to say is that Nikki has told us many things about anger, but now, many things.
It's starting to make more sense
More
talking to you,
sense.
but like being here right now.
Right.
Yeah, because he always talks to us about anger and anger.
And we can
Tampoco. I stopped.
No,
I stopped Bible thumping.
not preaching or lecturing,
Right.
but he's talked about
Anger.
this, you know.
I've seen their faces go confused, and I'm just like, it's not coming
Yeah,
off
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I just stopped.
Yeah. So having this conversation is perfect. It's
Right on.
very
Last
nice.
question,
Yeah.
and then I got to run.
Okay.
What is love?
¿Qué es el amor?
What is love? Love is God. That was an easy question. That was an easy answer.
That was a beta answer.
That was a beta answer. Love is acceptance. Love is being genuine, being.
Does she understand it? Your mother understand the question too? So
¿Qué
she's
es el
thinking
amor?
about
Sí,
it?
she's thinking about it.
Okay.
¿Qué es
okay.
amor?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Ahorita está preguntándole a Pau, pero piénsalo.
What is love?
She says
What
she
is
knows.
love? Acceptance. Acceptance. Being genuine. Being tolerant. For me, that's love. Tolerance.
What is love?
Help other people.
Help other people? What is love?
El amor es todo.
It's
El
everything.
amor, con amor perdono, por amor tolero, por amor.
With love
Para
she
mí el amor es
forgives.
todo.
With love she tolerates.
Para vivir.
With love she lives.
Love is not hating.
Love es simplemente no
When you
odiar.
drop the anger, you have love.
Cuando dejas la rabia, tienes amor.
That's all it is.
As soon as you drop the anger,
You have
Es
love
todo lo
because
que
now
queda.
you have the nature of God rather than the nature of Satan.
Cuando dejas la rabia, tienes la
Anger is the
naturaleza
nature
de
of
Dios.
Satan. Was that fun?
yes,
Very much.
yes. Thank you so much, Jessie.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Love to
Thank
be
you very
here.
much.
You're welcome.
I am happy.
Yeah.
Me voy de Los Ángeles con una experiencia muy bonita de este momento.
Yeah.
Yes, she's
Y
leaving
en
with a
tan
good
corto
experience.
tiempo
Right on.
aprendí mucho de ti.
She learned a lot in a
Yes,
short time.
amazing.
See?
Yes.
Mamma mia.
See?
Thank you, Jesse.
And I know you're leaving today.
Where I'm living today, yes.
Wow, I'm
I
glad you were
know.
able. I found out later your flight leave at 11 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you were able to be on
To
the show
make it,
today.
yes, that's amazing. Yes, I'm very happy that I was
Absolutely.
able to. Thank
Tomorrow
you so
we're
much.
gonna be here.
Right,
Yeah,
so I'll
women's
see you
forum.
guys at the ladies' forum tomorrow.
Yes.
The meeting forum.
Yes.
Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you so
very
much.
much.
Jesse.
All right.
Thanks, Jesse.
Oh, this
Yeah,
is
that-
Nick family, folks.
Yeah.
Don't forget Nick family.
Yeah, this is my
Nick
fan.
has a family.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a family.
He didn't come from an eggshell.
The anchor baby.
I always say good things
Thank
about
you.
them on my show.
Thank you, Nick.
No, thank you guys. This is
No,
awesome.
thank
This is a lot of
you.
fun. All right, ladies, you could go.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Make your way.
Be careful walking down there.
¿Puedo pasar por aquí?
Hassan? Yeah. Amazing. Let me see. Hold on. Hake is coming in. Let me go to while Hake is coming in. Let me go to David, a first-time caller out of Florida. David, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Jesse. How you doing, sir?
All is well, David.
Awesome. I got a first question for you here.
Yes, sir.
Do you love brown people?
Yes.
Great, because I'm brown and slow. Just wanted to confirm.
Amazing. Nice.
Hey, sir. So I really just called to say thank you. I'm 27 years old, and, you know, the last month or so, I started listening to your videos, doing the silent prayer every day, every morning, every night, and also I do it throughout the day when I get a chance. And it's tremendously changed just my life in general, how I look at everything. I had the conversation with both my parents, my mother and my father. I forgave them, you know, for their shortcomings and all of that. And as you can imagine, the conversation with my father went extremely well. And with my mother, it did not go that well. Go figure.
It's hard for women to admit that they're wrong. That's what their ego is so out of control because their nature is that of the devil, is evil, and it's hard for them to admit that they're wrong.
Right, exactly. Like that lady in that video, the white lady with the triple chin. I would be mad too if I had a triple chin like that, yelling at that gentleman in the car earlier.
I know, but, what a mess, huh?
What a mess, yeah. So, you know, I just wanted to call and say thank you. You know, from I really mean that. You know,
right on.
Kind of transformed the way I look at life and how everything is going for me in life right now is amazing. And I did buy a couple of shirts from you guys. I bought the What the shirt, and then I bought the It's Okay to Be a Man shirt.
Right on.
So
what?
I have my I have my father and sister visiting me from Memorial Day weekend here in Tampa Bay, so that's going to be exciting. I'm going to be rocking those shirts. Probably throw one on my old man too while he's here.
Right on, man.
Yes, sir. And I did have a question just in general. How can I help, you know, to spread the message and if there's anything I can do to help besides the bond movement and all of that, you know, I would love to get involved.
What I want you to do is send your information, some type of information about you to producer@JesseLeePeterson.com. And then, because we never know, you know, we got to move and all that kind of stuff. We may end up moving to Florida. We just don't know at this point. So, absolutely, man. But when something come up, you'll know about it.
Absolutely. That'd be awesome. That was actually one of the questions I wrote down. Like I said, I'm brown and slow. I forget things. So, the move to Florida, if that was going to happen, you know, if I could help in any kind of way,
okay,
I'm here and I'd be willing to, sir. So I'll go ahead and send an email to that. You said producer@JesseLeePeterson.com.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thanks for taking my call, sir.
And let me tell you this, David. Now that your heart has changed from anger to love, I want to encourage you to practice staying present. Don't be lost in your head and if you do get lost in your imagination thinking about tomorrow or yesterday, which doesn't exist, come back to present. And it's in the present that God is going to destroy the imagination and give you a clearer mind. It's going to get better.
Yeah, amen to that, sir. I used to be just like my mama, as
yeah.
you say, and I used to be a very angry man
yes.
all the time. And I can honestly say I have felt zero anger
right on
implementing the silent prayer. So it's been great.
Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. I appreciate your call, David.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too, buddy. Super chat. Super.
Over on Rumble, Woozy gave a Rumble rant saying Trump told a crowd of supporters in Florida last week he isn't bothered by his phony court case. If you care too much, you tend to choke.
Wow.
And in a way, I don't care. It's just, you know, life is life.
That is so deep. Y'all better pay attention, have a little space between you and the great white hope, and pay attention. It's going to blow your mind. Right on. Thank you.
And over also on Rumble, Donnie Girl's idea, because this was almost my question before I knew Anchor Baby's family was coming. God must be in this. Is it wrong for me to want English and Spanish both to show person is trying to learn English?
What now?
I don't know. It's badly written, I think. Is it wrong for me to want English and Spanish both to show person is trying to learn English?
I'm not quite understand what you're saying, but it's okay. It's practical. If you want to learn Spanish and English, there's nothing wrong with that. Really. But it's just a practical thing. Don't identify with it. Don't get a thrill from it. You'll be fine. Hola.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you, Donnie Girl's idea. A Rumble rant from Pastor Chatelet. It's arguable you can obey up until the point the man is in direct opposition of the Father. God the Father.
That's not true. Because if the woman is right, she's going to be fine no matter what the man does. It's on him, right? And she won't be angry or any of that stuff. And if the man screw up, That's his life. It won't bother her at all. But thank you, though.
Jabril NTP, great work. Thank you. The Rumble Rant.
Thank you. I appreciate your help and your support. Thank you.
Neurotic Psychotic 3 Coffees, JLP, the song I'm Your Puppet by Bobby and James Purify from the 1960s, circa 66. Also, some people mock DEI as didn't earn it. Haha. Grinning face emoji.
Amazing. Thank you.
And shout out to the top contributors on D Live, Evgeny Crosby, Aries 1, 555555565, Meat Pocket, Powers That Bear, Cactus Eater Bear, and the rest of the supporters. Thanks, guys, and I do believe that that's all for now.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. Listen to the phone callers. I will get to you tomorrow or whenever you call again. Tomorrow is Bible Thumper Thursday. So I'll get to you tomorrow. My guest was a little late because they were out of town from Canada, so they got messed up with the traffic thing. But it was fun. That was Nick, the Anchor Baby's family. And I'm sure you all were glad to see that the Anchor Baby really does have a family. He has a family. Get on that straight and narrow. Stay there no matter what happened. Don't think about what other people thinking about it or anything. You work on you. It's your world. You are responsible for your own world. Do the silent prayer, forgive, and you'll be fine. The Hake Report is coming up now. Then Joel Friday TV after the Hake Report, and then the American Anchor Baby, I think sometime today. Thank you all. Have a good one. Take care. Thanks for your support and everything. Amazing. So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Other than sex, I wonder, why would a man even need a woman today? Women don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. They're in competition with men. They don't want to be wives and mothers. Some want to get married, but they don't want to live in that proper position of life. Because the only purpose of marriage is to have a family. And that's been known forever. And so if you don't want to have children, there is no need to get married. And so I was wondering, why would a man even get married today? I never thought I'd see the day when women would come out of her natural role and be like a man. Even though she hate that role. When she was with a man that's weak, she hate him. But if he try to be strong, she'll stop it. I never imagined that. You're seeing good destroyed and abnormal is presented as normal.